Well, good afternoon and welcome to the Champions League Fan Cup Finals here on PlayStation's YouTube and Twitch channel. What an evening of FIFA 22 we have for you coming this evening. My name is Brandon Smith and I'm so excited to be joined alongside the one and only Lisa Manley, professional FIFA player, streamer, content creator, and more importantly, a fellow FIFA esports commentator as well. We've shared the mic a few times, but this is the first ever time we've commentated together on a PlayStation tournament, I believe, Lisa. Good evening. How are you this afternoon?
I'm excited to be here, of course. The best of the best players here today, and a lot of money on the line for these. Obviously, they do get a 250 just for being here. But I'm sure they're going to want to go even further.
Yeah, but a lot of people thinking, what is the Champions League Fan Cup? I was lucky to be in Sweden just 24 hours ago for the Champions League Professional FIFA Tournament. Alongside it, though, runs this, the Fan Cup, the fans of FIFA esports, the fans of this tournament, the eChampions League. Well, guess what? They get a slice of the pie as well. There was 4 qualifiers that took place back from February through March, and then there was one just back in the 10th of April. Those were Swiss format qualifiers, where the top 4 from each of those would come to these finals tonight, where we kicked off with a top 16 bracket. We can tell you right now that bracket is in its final 8. Single elimination, all the games are best of 3, and we're playing on FIFA Ultimate Team, which certainly does shake things up a little bit here, Lisa.
Yeah, it sure does, and obviously there's a lot of games to play, and you can sort of work out their styles as well because you're playing them a couple of times. So I feel like it'll be a lot of close games, a lot of maybe last-minute goals as well, so it'll be very exciting to watch.
Yeah, and speaking about excitement, well, there's already been 3 of the 4 quarterfinals that have concluded early. We have been holding one of the quarterfinals, though, for you guys at home. We're going to be covering Ali G against Tom in our last quarterfinal. Congratulations, by the way, to Kara Brewer-Torre, 76. He's in the semi-final. He's going to Sweden next month. ACX20, the German, he's going to Sweden next month. And the only Netherlands Dutch FIFA player in this tournament, Dennis Menis01, he is also going to Sweden next month. If you don't know what the prizes are and why you think I'm saying, why are they going to Sweden? Why are they going to Stockholm? Well, if you finish in the top 3, I should say. Top 3, they're not all going to Sweden. I apologise for that. Top 3, they're going to the eChampions League finals in Stockholm next month. But let's talk about the big prizes here. You win the tournament today, you get a PlayStation 5, you get €2,500, and you get this hospitality package. I keep saying the word Sweden here, Lisa. Tell the people at home what this is all about. Why are they going to Stockholm?
So yeah, obviously next month, May the 27th, there is going to be the eChampions League final taking place, and if they win the next match, as you mentioned, top 3, they get themselves a spot there to go watch the best of the best play Tex, for example. They get to watch them in person, maybe even speak to them. So for some of these players, it's going to be just completely changing in their life.
Yeah, speak about big players that will be in the eChampions League finals on the 27th of May back in Stockholm. Nicholas is there. You've got, obviously, the likes of Matthias Banana that's there. Tex, as you rightly said, Lisa, will all be competing in that tournament. The winner will get to go there, not to compete, but to meet some of the best players in the world, to play a couple of games against some influencers, and also just experience an amazing opportunity. That is top 3, I apologise. Not top 4. Top 3 will get you to Sweden. A lot on the line. If you're sitting there at home thinking, how did I not hear about this tournament? I mean, well, there's loads of opportunities for you guys at home to get involved in daily, weekly and monthly FIFA tournaments. And the great thing about this is, Lisa, obviously use the link down below as compete.playstation.com. It's for people at all skill levels. I've even had a go at a tournament about 6 months ago. Don't get me wrong, I lost in the second round, but there's tournaments for players at all skill levels, isn't there?
Yeah, obviously you said you got to the second round. At least you got to the second round. You got yourself a win. I feel like it's for anyone. You know, if you're watching and you feel like, well, I'm not the greatest player, but if you want to improve, you've got to play the best of the best. Even if you get beat 5-6-0, if you keep taking part, it'll go down to 3-2-1. And then when you're at a stage, you're actually winning. You're getting into further rounds, and you're getting known in the scene. So just take part. What's the worst that can happen? You might even win some money.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I want to pick your brain as much as we can today, Lisa. Obviously, a fellow professional FIFA player. You play for J Lings, obviously Jesse Lingard's own esports organisation. How do you think these players are feeling coming into today? Because for some of them, they're 1 or potentially 2 games away from getting a lot of cash, getting a PlayStation 5, and also getting a trip of a lifetime to Sweden next month.
Yeah, they'll be nervous, definitely. I know every time I play a tournament, going into it, I'm nervous. Obviously, if I get the first goal, I'm sort of nerves settle a little bit. But going into it, they're going to be nervous. They're going to be a few maybe missed passes here and there. But I feel like once it starts, once you get to half-time, you'll be getting a little bit better. But a few mistakes, definitely. But I'm looking forward to see who can actually go on to win this.
Yeah, and can we just say very quickly, there were 7,000 people that signed up for this tournament. Only 2,700 of those players did compete in the competition. Regardless, to get to the top 8 in itself, Lisa, that's a ridiculous achievement.
Yeah, exactly. And some of these players have actually gone unbeaten. They've played like 18 plus games. So to even just do that and to be here today is a massive congratulations to these players. But they ain't done yet. They've got to try to get to the next round and then potentially win the final.
Yeah, well, as you rightly said, there's still a lot of FIFA to play today, isn't there? There's one quarter-final game we're waiting to conclude. It's the one just below us right now. It's Tom against Ali G 07. The German against the English player. Let's preview this game for you now. We've got a little bit of information about both our players. 23 years of age is the German player. Goes by the name of Mohamed Ali Jensen. That's his full name. His gamer tag is Ali G. He's actually a player that was competing back in FIFA 19 at a FUT Champions Cup. He went out in the Swiss rounds there, but regardless, still a ridiculous achievement. Years on from FIFA 19, he's back involved, he's back hungry competing, and he had a really, really impressive sort of Swiss round, Lisa. He did not lose a game in the Swiss rounds.
Yeah, very impressive. You know, he went 9-0, he hasn't lost a game, so going into this, I'm sure there probably won't be too many nerves because he's won all these games. But as you can see here, his team, he's got loan cards, you are allowed loan cards in this tournament. He's got Vieira, Cantona and 5-star skill moves, obviously Mbappe Player of the Month, Jorginho, Di Natale, obviously the new hero that's recently come out, obviously the better version of him. He's got Cancelo, Varane, Pele as well, Maldini, and then obviously Mendy in goal. But I mean, a great team. It's interesting actually to see Mendy in goal. You know, you can have an icon in goal, you can have anyone, but for me, Mendy is a very good goalkeeper in this game.
Yeah, very good, and what a team that is, as you said, rightly so. There's icons in there, and there's players everywhere. These are their own ultimate teams, and before you ask, yes, you are allowed just a sprinkle of lone players in these teams. Tom Sorrell, 22 years of age. I dropped him a little message before this game today. I said, how are you feeling? He said, I am a little bit nervous. However, he's got to back himself. He's in the top 8. Goes by the name of Tom Zoa. Zoa is his gamer tag in-game. Let's have a look at his run in this tournament. He's played a lot more games. 18 wins, 4 defeats, an 82% win rate. Let's look at his ultimate team that he has used to get him to this stage today.
Yeah, obviously he has played a lot more games. He has lost a couple more, but he has played more. So, I mean, going into this, like you mentioned, he's a little bit nervous, but he's got such a great team. Obviously, got that Marcelo card that recently came out. Dembele just recently got an upgrade as well. Messi on loan, Mbappe on loan, and obviously Maldini. He's got that FUT birthday Ronaldo. Obviously, people do wonder why players use him over the Team of the Year version. It's because of his skill moves. So, obviously, got 5-star skill moves, and obviously his weak foot's upgraded, so he's 5-star, 5-star. You've got Cancelo, Diaz, obviously the City partnership there. Hakimi right back, and an interesting goalkeeper in Van der Sar, his baby version for me. He's one of the best goalkeepers in the game, but obviously he has got not his better version, but still he's a great goalkeeper.
I have to ask you as well, Lisa, why do you think we could be seeing Marcelo in on the left-hand side? Is it a 3-5-2 that we could be alluding to in the game, do you think?
Yeah, well, obviously we saw Dami win with a 3-5-2, so I feel like a lot of these players will try and use a 3-5-2, and obviously Marcelo is a great wing-back to use in-game. Obviously he can play anywhere, to be honest with you, with that card. He plays centre-mid, he can play left-back, centre-back, he can literally play anywhere, so I feel like that's why we're going to be seeing a lot of Marcelos and a lot of 3 at the backs. And
in terms of who had the better team there, would you say Tom edges it, or would you argue against that?
Yeah, I think Tom definitely got a better team, so maybe going into it gives him a little bit more confidence. Like you mentioned, he's a little bit nervous, so I feel like if he can get the first goal, then settle the nerves a little bit.
Yeah, one thing they have to look at, though, is that they have both won a round of 16 game to get to this stage today. They went through qualification, as we said, over 2,700 people were all involved in the qualification process to get this far. They have to back themselves, and they must be confident with how they have gotten so far. Well, as soon as the game is ready, we will jump into it very quickly on the format. It's a best of 3 here, Lisa, so it's 3 individual games potentially. How key is it going to be for one of these 2 players to just ensure they get their first one under their belt and just give themselves that boost? Because if you win 2 games out of the 3, that's the series done. You're in a semi-final, you're guaranteed even more cash, and potentially you are 1 game away from a hospitality package of a lifetime.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like the first win, like I mentioned about boosting confidence, will give them a massive confidence boost. Obviously, that still means they have to go into the next game hungry as ever, because if you lose that game, it's 1-1 and it's sudden death as such. It's like the last game. But I feel like if they get that first win, gives them confidence. They know they can beat him. However, obviously that means they can work out who each other plays. So going into the next game, if they have a coach, they can speak to them, work out actually, what they can actually do to change it up if they did lose.
Yeah, well, here we go then. It's going to be game 1 underway, I believe, here in the Champions League Fan Cup finals. It's Ali G kicking from left to right. We have Tom Sorrell or Tom Zoa from right to left here. This is the final 8 you're looking at. Quarter-final games are underway. Some of them have already concluded. This is the best of 3. Well, it could be extremely important that these players have an impressive start to this tournament. Let's just see what formation is going to be cued by either of these 2. It could be a chance early doors for Tom Zoa. Can't quite find his way through. Interesting on the build-up to this tournament, Lisa. We saw Ali G, 07, a German player, was involved in the FIFA esports scene in quite some way. He did qualify for a major tournament back in 2019. Surely that will give him just something mentally that he's been in tournaments before. He's been able to play against some of the best players in the world. Yes, that was a long time ago, and yes, the game has no doubt changed since then. But regardless, it's a player that's got more accolades than I believe Tom.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like playing in certain other, maybe a big chance here. Great save, and
the
we get a rebound.
It's a tap-in. It's got to be. It's an easy tap-in for Mbappe. The perfect start. It might be fortunate, but Tom Zoa's not going to care, is he?
He's not going to care at all. I mean, great sort of whip back stick there, and it's a fortunate sort of goal, isn't it, in terms of it going back to him. But I'm sure, like you mentioned, he's not going to be annoyed about that. And I mean, as you mentioned, in my opinion, obviously having previous events does help you in terms of nerves as well. I feel like when you've had previous tournaments, you know how to sort of react to goals going against you and going for you as well. Obviously, sometimes you don't get fortunate to get a lucky rebound or everything doesn't go your way. But if you sort of mentally right as a way, you can actually counter some things like that as well.
Perfect start for Tom in this game. The only English player that did qualify. Mbappe looking for a brace into CR7. Perfect start again. 2 goals in 15 minutes for birthday CR7, stamping his mark on the eChampions League Fan Cup.
And we mentioned reasons to actually obviously have that Ronaldo with his 5-star over the team with the year version, and he came in clutch there, didn't he? Obviously a great pass into him and a great finish, but to be honest with you, defensively potentially could have cut that out. Maybe it was the fact that he ended up conceding not the greatest of goals, but you got to remember there is 3 legs as such of FIFA. Just try not to let it get to you, because if it does, could potentially see mistakes happening.
Vieira trying to get some sort of control into this midfield. It's been an awful start for Ali G. What a start it's been. 15 minutes in. I mean, there's a lot of time left to play in this game, but with it being individual games, Lee, so that 2-goal advantage there. It's a dream position to be in a quarter-final.
Yeah, I mean, it sure is. Obviously, it does look like he actually is playing through at the back. He's got everyone back, and a potential chance to cross it here, and great defending. Obviously, we have seen that pause there. Reasons for that, obviously, maybe he wants to take a quick break, try and work out what his opponent is playing, to try and work out how to actually counter that, obviously, the three at the back. You know, there is certain formations you can obviously switch to try and beat it as such, but defensively it's a great formation. Going forward, it's a great formation, and that is the reasons why we saw Dami using it, and that's why he went unbeaten in the competition.
Yeah, if you are wondering who we are talking about there, that is Dami, professional player in the E-Premier League, who did win the E-Premier League not so long ago. Unbelievable stuff from the Polish player of Norwich City FC and 1J Esports. 25 minutes on the clock, 2-0. Tom does lead. Corner played short towards the back post, could be even worse. Ball back across. The last thing that can happen is go 3-0 down. More surprised that we haven't seen a 3-5-2. Well, I saw Marcelo and Team of the Year Cancelo in there. I was maybe expecting Cancelo to come across as a centre-back, cuts back inside. Dembele can't quite find the exit he was originally looking for, but Marcelo instead comes a very decent midfielder.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to obviously see Marcelo in the midfield. What we did mention, obviously, before the game, he can play anywhere, and certain players do like to use him in that midfield. %62
possession so far. It's another pause from Ali G. What do you think's not going right for him at the moment? He just doesn't seem to have a foot on the game.
I mean, it could be many things, to be honest with you. Obviously, it's maybe formation. He's not able to break him down at the moment. There's no passes going in sort of into the final third, potentially, but a chance here doesn't seem to happen for him. And he just can't seem to break him down, it seems. He's not able to get passes into his strikers, and if you can't get balls into strikers, you're not going to be scoring. So I feel like he's just going to have to change formation sort of early, because obviously it is only one leg as such.
One thing that I have seen from Tom is there's been no respect for his opponent. Straight in his face. It's been an aggressive start. Well, there's no surprise. Look at the space for Dembele! 3-0, 38 minutes on the clock. He would have dreamed of this start to the tournament. Dreamed of being in a quarter-final and being this far up this early on.
I mean, I'm sure when he messaged you, he wasn't thinking he was going to be 3-0 up within, I mean, what, 30-something plus minutes. So, I mean, it's interesting, obviously, to see Dembele in the team. He's such an expensive card. You know, on PlayStation, around 4.6 million coins, and there's a reason for that, because he's such a great player. Obviously, he's got 5-star skill moves. He's got 5-star weak foot. You can be unpredictable with him. You can use your left foot. You can use your right foot, and he's flying, isn't he, Tom, here? I don't know what he's got to do to try and beat this, because going forward, he's just sensational.
What do you think Ali G's thinking here? We're looking at his POV right now. I think there might be a game plan change at most. There's not really anything he's changed. What can you change? 30 minutes into a game, you're not really going to change any personnel players. Tactics at most?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you don't really want to change formation to a formation you don't really use that often because you're not used to it. But if the formation you're using at the moment isn't working, you're going to have to try and think of something, because at the moment he's not even able to get the ball into his strikers without losing the ball. So I feel like, yeah, tactics maybe, putting depth up, putting depth down. There's not really much you can do, really.
Well, the lucky thing that Ali G does have is that he'll have a second and a third game to play where he might just be able to turn the game on its head. Brilliant start from Tommy. Goes by the game attack of Zoa. He's played in a handful of tournaments here on the competition centre of PlayStation. He's got lots of reps and experience in. It'll be interesting to see him on the world stage next year. Oh, wow. 4-0. Ronaldo's got a brace. And no doubt Tom probably has a smile on his face somewhere in England. The only English player in this tournament. He's 4-0 up at the break. I mean, is it GG's for leg one?
I think it's GG, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't even think his opponent's had a shot on goal, to be honest with you. And if he has, it went anywhere near the goalkeeper. But I mean, to be honest with you, what a great performance from him. What a great goal that was as well. Obviously, we saw the player lock coming in, put Ronaldo into the position he wanted him in, and he put it in the back of the net. So I think it's a mountain to climb at the moment, but he's going to have to send the sink as such, right? He's going to have to send one forward. But then when he does that, he's going to be open at the back, and he's going to concede goals. So I feel like it's going to be hard.
I mean, you're seeing it already. It's going to be surely a constant press coming out for the next 45 minutes, an attacking change. He'll still stay in the back four for just the moment. It's Paqueta that comes on. I wouldn't be surprised. Give it 15 minutes, Lisa, in this game. We'll see it through at the back, and we'll see him really try and go for this game and push bodies forward.
Yeah, I feel like a three at the back is going to be potentially needed. I remember before, you know, speaking about going into the three at the back formation, and now most players are actually starting in the three at the back formation. But yeah, he's going to have to send everything forward and try and get that early goal in this game, because if he does, could potentially come back in the game, but it's going to be hard.
Perfect start maybe for Ali G again. Can't find the exit he was looking for on that occasion. Dembele, room to run, cause havoc. Look at the room, and Dembele still back inside. Is it in the air? He tried his best too. It was Mendy of Chelsea. But for the first time in this game, he's actually been able to get two hands on the ball. Prior to that, he hasn't been able to save too much. That second man press has been so good, hasn't it, from Tom? Hasn't given his opponent any time at all. Mbappe 5. I think you have to say at this point, Lisa, that's it. Game one done. Let's get back to the drawing board. I've got a second leg to play, but I've got to be so much better than this.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've seen a lot of goals coming in from the wing area, obviously running down the line, using the sprint boost and just whipping it in. He's obviously normally aiming for Ronaldo, but Mbappe was in the position to shoot, and he does.
Consolation. Good save. First save he's had to make. That's Tom's goalkeeper. And the crazy thing is, Lisa, he hasn't lost a game so far in this eChampions League Fan Cup, has Ali G. This is the first game he would have lost. He went 8-0 in the Swiss rounds, flew through the round of 16. This is the first taste of defeat he's ever had in the tournament. 6-0 down. Ronaldo's having a party.
He sure is having a party. I mean, we're seeing that player lock again, you know, running down the line. We mentioned it. I mean, basically every single goal that he's scored so far, player locking it into Ronaldo, getting him into that position. We saw, obviously, Mendy coming out to try and save it, but it was just the player lock put Ronaldo into a great position, and he whipped it in straight to his feet, and it's an open goal, so he's not going to miss from there.
29 minutes. You've played many FIFA games, Lisa. There's no chance you are bringing back a 6-goal deficit. I think at most I'd argue that 3 goals could be achievable. No way 6.
Yeah, I feel like when I'm in a game and I'm 2-0 down and I feel like I'm better than the person, I'm likely going to come back into the game. But yeah, like you mentioned, anything more than 3, I'm worried.
Could be 7. Mbappe, Dembele went on his own. It was brave, but that's the confidence that's oozing through this player as it stands right now. I mean, we'll go into a pause again. If it was Ali G that cued that pause, you can't. Honestly, there's nothing you can do. You just have to admit defeat for game 1 here. We'll come back again for game 2. It is a best of 3 to remind everybody at home. If it was an aggregate scoreline, I think you'd even say that's pretty much done, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a mountain to climb. If it was an aggregate score, I feel like he would be, to be honest with you, like sailing out of the competition. But I feel like it benefits him as such, it being sort of game by game. But obviously, even that next game, he's got to win or he's going to be out. So it's going to be tough.
Would you argue that he's been out-teamed at all? Because I'd say on paper he has the stronger team.
Yeah, I mean, there's a potential being a little bit out-teamed, but I feel like if you're used to them players, obviously these are their teams, so that they're playing, you know, foot champs, rivals with it. So I feel they're used to it. So realistically, I wouldn't say it's the team. I just feel like Tom's just, to be honest with you, the better player. He's better defensively, better going forward. The player locks are really helping, and he's switching. You know, every time he gets the ball, he's got 3 players around him, stopping him from getting anywhere near the goal.
Dembele got another one to his account in this game. Has been really impressive. If you have just joined us, this is the Champions League Fan Cup finals. You're watching our last quarter-final to conclude. 3 names are already in the semi-finals. At the moment, Tom's on his way to get there too. It's a forced bounce, finds Mbappe. Little ball roll scoop turn, the most popular combination in any level of competitive FIFA. Doesn't quite work the way you wanted it to. Oh, wow. Marcelo, fullback by trade, the foot captain, goes for a cheeky chip, he's on the score sheet too.
I don't even know what to say at this stage. I mean, to be honest with you, in that position there, there's nothing he really can do. We saw the player lock, which obviously makes him think that he's going to pass it. He doesn't. He goes for the cheeky chip, and it's just a great play. Prior to that, obviously 1-2 passing, and to get even in that position to even think about doing a cheeky chip, it's just outrageous, and it obviously shows the confidence that he has in this game. And I'd be confident as well if I was 7 goals up, but his confidence is super high, and you can tell that with the way he's playing.
I mean, I'm interested to see the second leg, to see if this is just a one-off that's been so dominant by Tom, not taking anything away from the performance, because he has been outstanding. Or if there is generally this much of a gap in quality between the two players. Shot comes in, deflected, out for corner. Last 8 minutes, we'll look at the highlights from this first leg. It's been all goals from Tom. A red time finesse. I think that says everything there, Lisa. A player that's lacking confidence. He's trying to time a shot on the edge of the box, and when that's flashing red, that tells you just a player that really isn't in their rhythm, in their zone, or even getting the right button configuration or timing on the shot.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's definitely not his day as such, right? You know, if you can perform on your day, you'll win so many games. Obviously, you see that he was 8-0 coming into this, and he's getting dominated in this game, to say the least. So I feel like going into this, he would have a lot of confidence, but now going into the next game, I don't think he'll have too many confidence. We saw that red time shot as well. He's trying to obviously get that long-range shot, because he's not really able to get to the goal. When you red time it, it's never going in.
Building. Mbappe for 8. Is it? Of course it is. 8-0. Just let that sink into the rest of the competition that might be watching this broadcast now, waiting to play their semi-finals. That sends out one hell of a shock to pretty much everybody else that's in this tournament. Not just a win, domination. 8-0 after the first game. That is 1 point on the board for Tom, the only English player left in this tournament here in the eChampions League Fan Cup. What did he do so well in that game, Lisa? Because it seemed like everything went to plan.
Yeah, everything. You know, everything was sensational from him. You know, his player locks, player switching. You know, he's been able to put players in a better position, as we saw there. It was quite a lucky rebound that he got there, which could have potentially annoyed Ali, maybe let it get to him a little bit too much. And the ball rolled there and then pings it into the back of the net. Obviously, all goals here, all highlights were from Tom. You know, a great pass there into Dembele, and you know he's going to be finishing that with his 99 shooting. And you know we see him use the wings a lot. You know he's player locking into the box there. 1-2. He switched on to Mbappe and then switched on to Ronaldo, and obviously got him into a great position. Here again, he scored again from across and again from across. Obviously, player lock there again into Ronaldo. And then Marcelo here, obviously, we see the player lock. So, you know, Mendy thinks he's going to pass it. He doesn't. He chips. And it's just again, another player lock there. Everything he's doing is a player lock, making it so he's getting his players into a better position. And obviously, you can tell that they're going to do that, but it's just so hard to defend. Yeah,
I mean, there's so many elements to Tom's game that was impressive there in terms, you said, the player lock was really impressive. Just his team was great as well. The fact that Marcelo started as a left winger in that game, it changed into a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, not a formation that I tend to see so much. I was expecting maybe to see it slice to the 3-5-2 in some level. Further side of Ali now, we've just lost 8-0. He's got about a 2 or 3 minute break before we jump into this second game. How does he respond? How does he pick himself up? As a pro yourself, Lisa, how do you, I mean, in the nicest way, you'd normally take a break, but you can't really in this scenario.
Yeah, I feel like obviously taking a break is crucial. Maybe talking to a coach as well, working out what he has to change. I feel like he definitely has to change something. Maybe a formation change, but he's definitely got to change something.
Yeah, 8-0 down after the first leg. Again, it's a best of 3 here, so one more loss, he will be out of the tournament. One more win for Tom, he'll be on his way to the top 4 and maybe one step closer towards the cash, the PlayStation 5 and that all-important hospitality package. We're going to be jumping into our second game as soon as it's ready. This one, Ali G, the German pro, lost 8-0 in that first game. An experienced FIFA player who's been playing since FIFA 19, did qualify for a FUT Champions Cup all that time ago, which is a lot of experience that he does have coming into this tournament. I think the one thing that's interesting is that Do you think that was just a difference in quality there, or do you think that was just a one game off?
I mean, you can't really tell, obviously, until the next game in terms of whether it was a one-off. I feel like it was a dominant performance, and I feel like you could say it was a one-off, but with the way he was playing, the confidence wearing, you know, player lock-in, defensive style, I don't even think he had a clear opportunity to score in that game. So I feel like it was just a great performance from him, and I feel like going into the next game, if he can get that early goal, I think he'll see out the next game and obviously go into the semi-final.
And the big question, would you change anything tactically coming into this second game now, knowing you've just lost 8-0 off the back? Or would you back yourself? Because, you know, you've gone 8-0, sorry, in the Swiss rounds back when they played in March. And then he's won his first quarter-final, his round of 16 game. He did win earlier today, about an hour or two ago. So he knows tactically whatever he's been doing has been working prior. Do you still back those tactics, or do you just say, flip on the head, I've just lost 8-0, I need to take a different approach to this?
I feel like realistically maybe he has to match Tom in terms of going the same formation as Tom to try and stop him having these opportunities down that wing side as well, especially with every single goal literally coming from the wing. So I feel like he's got to try and stop Tom going down the wings and maybe force him into the middle of the park, because every time he gets down the wings, I'm worried for him, because all these crosses that are coming in from Ronaldo, especially having a tall man in the box, and obviously Mbappe as well. He wins so many headers.
Yeah, it's something about Ronaldo, isn't there, in the air? Cristiano, unbelievably good in the air. Did score a handful of goals in that game. Obviously, team of the season just around the corner now. There'll be even more items that can mix up into these teams. I mean, you look at the team that Tom has. Team of the year's in there. I mean, there's a couple of the foot captains in there, foot birthday items in there. We even saw Dembele, who did play his mark in that. You highlighted it in the perfect way, Lisa, that he's worth over 4 million coins. What is it that's so good about the French forward of Barcelona?
Obviously, he's got 5-star, so that you can be unpredictable with him. You can use your left, you can use your right. You know, he's got great pace, 99 pace. He's also got 93 shooting. So I feel like, and he's also got great dribbling as well. So using him on the wing is perfect. Even if you want him to get him into the box, he's going to be scoring. You know, a lot of players like to use skill moves. We've seen it in this game. Ball roll scoops, McGeady cancels. So I feel like he's just a great player all round for these players. Being able to shoot, being able to skill, being unpredictable on his weak foot. He's just an all round great player.
And also, there's not always the pressure, is there, to play him as a striker. He can easily play out on the wing for you, as he does, I mean, in his normal position in game, as comes in as a right winger into FIFA 22 Ultimate Team. We'll get that game ready for you as soon as we can. Here's some of the results coming through the bottom of your screen right now. Impressive one for Dennis the Menace. I say the Menace, Dennis Menace 0-1 beat Romeo. 4-3-9 by a goal to nil. That was an impressive result for the only Dutch player left in this tournament. Other results coming through. You've got the Italian player in Cara Brutore, 7-6. Beat the Spaniard Daniel Bueno, 2-0. ACX20 beat ex-Rafa, 2-1. Loads of big results coming through. Again, it's getting... Every game, the pressure is really rising, and this isn't it. More cash on the line, closer and closer to that PlayStation 5 and the all-important trip to Sweden, which for a lot of these players, what a chance it will be just to go to a LAN event, an eChampions League event, where they'll be playing for $75,000. Not these players, the 8 that are already qualified in the actual eChampions League tournament. Regardless, it's a brilliant chance just to have a taster of what these players could expect in the future. If they can keep hustling away, you know, the PlayStation Tournament Centre is all about welcoming new players into the scene and then pushing them forward. Yeah,
exactly. I think going into it, these players, especially if they win this tournament or even get close to it, even if they get to go to the eChampions League finals, they'll know that if they carry on doing what they're doing, beating pros online, they might even be able to get there themselves. So I think for them, it's about, motivation as well. If they win this, maybe they think they can go and win some more tournaments, maybe even FGS tournaments, qualifying via rivals. So I think it's huge for these players, and we're seeing that in other games. Obviously, they're so close as well. Obviously, this game, it hasn't been close at all, but other, like you mentioned, 2-1, 1-0, there's nerves on the line. That's why it's such a big prize.
Yeah, I mean, 7,000 people registered for this tournament in the first place. It's been a relentless competition. Just to qualify as well, if you top the qualifiers, you've got €1,000 just for being here. So there is prize money, there's money here, there and everywhere. Tom leads with 1-0. 8-0, the scoreline in the last game. He'll be hoping that this time round he can have a better start. It will be Ali G from right to left in this game, looking for the best start possible. Timed it green, what a save. Massive save from Edwin van der Sar, but regardless, a lot better start here, Lisa, for Ali G.
Yeah, exactly, and he actually read time and shot. A great sombrero flick!
Oh, Paqueta! Lucas Paqueta, how about that for a wake-up call? Sombrero flick says see you later to the man, the Brazilian midfielder of Lyon. What a start!
I mean, a start that, to be honest with you, no one expected. I mean, a Sombrero flick, you know, to be honest with you, his confidence was probably low last game, and to come into this game, to Sombrero flick to score, and to be honest with you, I feel like he should have scored the earlier opportunity that he green-timed, but what a great save it was.
Perfect start. We did say, was it a one-off? Or was there just levels in class between these two? Remember, this is a must-win game for Ali G. He loses, he's out. It's a best-of-3 format here in the Champions League Fan Cup. Messi, don't let him on that left boot. Cheeky chip. Oh, it was in. What's the defender doing there? Defenders took it down on his chest. He's just not got rid of it, Lisa.
He sure has, and to be honest with you, a great chip, cheeky chip. Interesting to see him do that in that position, especially being 1 goal down, and it's unfortunate for Ali, obviously, his defender not actually clearing it, but, I mean, what a game we have here, 1-1 within 12 minutes.
I mean, the one thing you never want to do is let Messi on that left boot. You know, if you allow him any time on the left foot, he's going to finesse it, he's going to cause you problems. He went on the right, backed himself. It was a chip that wasn't timed, it was just time white above the players there, which means that the shot wasn't even timed. But question marks over. It may have been Di Lorenzo. He just did not get the job done, did not get the ball clear. Pele, back to Paqueta, the goal scorer. What a goal it was, by the way. Speak of confidence for a player that just lost 8-0. Couldn't have started this game in a better way. Probably scored one of our goals of the day. Vieira finds Paqueta. To João Cancelo. Linking up well. Already been such a better start from the German player, Ali G. Hasn't lost a game up to this point. Went 8-0 in the Swiss rounds, back in previous qualification. Kicked off his tournament day with an important round of 16 win as well. Nicely done. Mbappe, Dembele, better. A lot better from Tom. He struggled to get on the ball, but when he has, and he's gone forward. He's 2 for 2. He's clinical.
Yeah, and we talk about the extra pass. He did that not once, but twice. For me, I would have shot the first time that he passed it, but he didn't. He did the extra pass and basically made it a cert goal, obviously. It was a great finish. Dembele, we mentioned him over and over again, especially in the last game anyway. You know, 99 pace, 93 shooting. He's got 92 long shots, 99 shot power, and I feel like that's the main stat for him, having 99 shot power in that position, in and around the box. He should be able to put it in the back of the net, and Mendy was nowhere near that one.
After a brilliant start, he went 1-0 up. Now he finds himself 2-1 down. Tom wins this game, he's into Final Four. Alongside that, he will guarantee himself a very, very healthy €250 for even getting here. Oh my! What do you not let him do? What do you not let Lionel Messi do, Lisa? You do not let him on that left boot.
You do not let him on that left boot, and in that position there, time and time over, especially the Team of the Year version of Messi, you put him on that left foot, you've got to try and block it, because if you don't, especially when it's green time, we know what it's going to do. It's going to fly into the back of the net, and we saw it there. And considering Tom went 1-0 down, you might think nerves get into him. He's just conceded a goal. Has it got to him? Absolutely not. He's now 3-1 up in this game with 33 minutes into the game. Goals are flying in this game. You know, we saw 8 last game. We see 4 so far in this game. And Ali's obviously got himself a goal, so he knows he can score, but he's got to try and get the next one, because if he doesn't, Tom's going to be into the next round.
Well, Messi's already ridiculous. Oh, Mbappe to cause even more problems. What a save, Mendy. Fake just for a second with a bit of goalkeeper movement. You had question marks over it. Ball into the box. Mendy does not get it done that time. Gets pulled back for a free kick anyway. But Messi's already good enough, is my point, Lisa, in his normal gold item. His left boot will cause nightmares for any players, let alone his Team of the Year, where everything is just increased and even more better and deadly. You see it in the pro scene. That finesse, time and time again, causing so many problems for players.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great item. I don't personally like having him in my team because he's it's unpredictable having him in your team. You know you got to go on his left foot if you're going to shoot because it's not really going to go in with his right foot. There is potential for it to go in, but you've got to be quite close to the goal. You can't finesse it from miles out. So potentially a great chance here for Ali. Great put across the box into Cantona's feet, and what a save that is there from Van der Sar. And we mentioned goalkeepers, outstanding saves. We saw Mendy with a couple of good saves and a chance here, and a great save again. But you know, we're seeing great saves from Van der Sar and Mendy. I feel like Tom had a good chance just a minute ago to score, but he wasn't able to. And a great whip here again, and great defending in a way. But yeah, we saw Mendy just had a chance. Obviously, he moved him a few times. Ali one way and back the other way, but I feel like it should have gone in. But it's a great play from these guys. It's been a close game. I feel like Ali could potentially be 3-3 or even 3-2 in this game. He's just got quite unlucky.
Double save from Edwin van der Sar, another player proving his worth. Could be a chance, Ali again. How many times and how many chances does he need? Vieira back to save the day. Half-time. It is Tom that leads by 2-1 here in the Champions League Fan Cup at the halfway point. You can see some of the stats on the screen. I mean, he's 3-1 down, but is he right to sort of say for a split second, Lisa, how am I 3-1 down? He's had more possession. He's had more chances. Maybe just not as clinical as he should have been.
I feel like he'd maybe be a little bit hard done by it in a way. I feel like defensively he hasn't been greater than Tom, but he's had definitely a lot more chances going forward in this game than he did last game at all. You know, I feel like this first 45 minutes he's been outstanding compared to the last game where he was a lot of goals down. I feel like he's had the better chances as well. He's just got to try and change something up a little bit now, you know, maybe press off the possession loss to try and get that next goal, because if he doesn't get the next goal and Tom does, it's game, set and match. So I feel like he's got to go a little bit more forward, but that does leave stuff in behind for Tom to get extra passes into.
A lot of room in behind for Tom to exploit. If he gets one more goal, I think he'll be on his way to a semi-final. Dembele punches the ball into Mbappe's feet. Nicely done. Tom, look at the space. Mbappe timed it green. Good save. He's quick when he breaks, though. Too quick to defend. Back to Marcelo. Little roulette. Peels away. Cheeky chip towards the back post. You know Ronaldo's there. Falls back to Mbappe. He's going to have a chance. Another good save. It's attack after attack after attack. Ali G just hanging in. Just about to this matchup. It's another good block. But it's still not dealt with. Dembele. Across it goes. Another save. Is it in? Another save. Mendy. There you go. Finally, Cristiano Ronaldo has his goal.
I feel like he obviously deserved to get that goal there. Obviously, not the greatest way of getting it in the end. Obviously, rebounding. But to be honest with you, I feel like he had a couple of great opportunities before, especially with the green time shot with Mbappe. Feel like he had a little bit more space to go forward as well. And then green it. Definitely would have gone in the goal if he did that. But, you know, we see a lot of short corners from him, going to the edge of the box, doing skill moves to get into the box. Obviously, sort of roulette there. I think just going forward, he's so good. And Ali's obviously struggling to stop him.
Well, let's have a little look at his tactical change he's making now, Lisa. Talk me through it. It looks like he's jumping around a few different game plans, and he's really pretty much done back into the game. 4-2-4 I saw in that.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting formation to play, but obviously it means he's just got more attackers, obviously the 4, and then obviously 2 midfielders to help him out. So I feel like it's a great formation to go to. Interesting to not see 3 at the back, but I feel like that does mean that he's more open at the back, and Tom going forward is just sensational. So I feel like he's maybe leaving that to a little bit later. But a great chance here for him, for Ronaldo to try and get on the end of it. And we see a great green time chip, and you just don't score them, especially when they're green time from that position. And we see he's celebrating this time. Obviously, the last time he did put his hands up because of the goal that he scored, but I would be celebrating that one as well, because what a great chip it is from there.
I mean, you can chip, but if you can time green chip a shot, wowee, absolutely incredible. Good save. Well, that's Pai. He's just made that tactical change there to really have to go for this game. There is no worse sucker punch than going to concede. Mbappe's in a running race. He's left Varane for dead. Mbappe for one more. Spoons it over the bar. He's lucky enough that he's got a 4-goal cushion, that's not going to matter too much.
Yeah, I mean, not the greatest of shots there. I'm surprised he didn't go for another cheeky chip, which potentially could have gone in because he did, you know, fly that into Rosette, to be honest with you. But like you mentioned, if that was Ali, he'd be very, very annoyed. But he's got a 4-goal cushion, so he won't get quite annoyed about that. Because it feels like the game at the moment of how it's going, it's probably going to end with Tom winning anyway.
Nicely done. A couple of step overs. Eric Cantona literally trying to bundle his way forward. Mbappe. Is there even enough time left? 22 minutes at most. You've had to go forward. There's going to be gaps that appear now. It's another bad call from Maldini. Finds CR7. Finesse after finesse. Goal after goal. And I think we could be looking at near enough a GG in the chat right now. It's a 5-goal cushion, Lisa. I don't think there's any way back from this one. 6-1, Tom leads. For a player that said he was a bit nervous coming into this game, he's not shown any nerves, to be completely honest. He's cruised, hasn't he? I mean, there was question marks for a good 10 or 15 minutes at the start of the game. Ali G did start really well, had a lot of possession, but just clinical. What performance we're seeing.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely been clinical in this game. I feel like it was quite hard to defend that actually there. Obviously, the player lock, we mentioned him doing the player lock over and over again, but he player locked it, moved Ronaldo to where Maldini was, and then just moved them away. And that's why he was able to get that opportunity and a great heel to the side there to actually get the opportunity to finesse it into the back of the net. And he's just playing so well. And to be honest with you, I'd be scared anyone that has to play him because going forward, he's so clinical, and defensively, he hasn't made a mistake. I mean, Ali's been doing some great skill moves. You know, he's been doing roulettes into McGeady councils, ball roll scoops, and he's just stopping them so easily. There's like, he's not even flinching. He's just going into the challenge, winning it, and then just attacking so quickly. He's not even waiting to attack. He's just going for it. And that's why I'd be scared.
Player lock again, he's offside. Ball through. Have to calm it down. You have to sort of describe this performance in just a few words. Consolation goal for Pele. Nice finish. Why has he been so good? And what's it about his game that's been so impressive, Lisa?
For me, I just think the way he goes forwards, you know, he's so quick to attack. He's not someone that, you know, does 2-3 passes and then goes forward. He's literally one pass, and every single pass is forward. He's not trying to break him down by, you know, switching the play. Every time he gets the ball, it's a pass forward. And as we're seeing here, he's in a great position again. A little player lock, as we mentioned before. Another reason why he's so good is his player locks. Every time he goes forward, he's player locking onto his Ronaldo to get him into a better position. He's Messi to get him into a better position, and he uses his wings really well with that Dembele. And a great player lock there again, and are we going to see a cheeky chip? Shot cancel, and he just puts it into the back of the net. He's just going forward. He's just clinical. And we mentioned there, obviously, the way he's playing, you know, the player locks. There, he obviously did the shot cancel. His just confidence is so high right now, and we can see why, because he's just a sensational player.
Vieira. Back to Di Natale, off the bar. And it would have been a nice goal. I mean, we've got to say, goal of the day still was that Lucas Paqueta one. Another chip. Another good save by Mendy. That chip there. Oh, sorry, the goal. The sombrero flick from Lucas Paqueta, Lisa. I mean, for a player that just lost 8-0 to kick off their second matchup in that style was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it was sensational, to be honest with you. You don't even expect a player that just lost 8-0 to even, to be honest with you, realistically trying to even get a goal against Tom. But to score in that way, it's just a shame that he wasn't able to replicate it and, you know, keep a clean sheet or even get a couple of more goals to win this game. But, you know, it's credit to Tom, the way he's played going forward and defensively. He's stopping him from getting opportunities. And a great roulette there. And to be honest with you, the whistle was blown, unfortunately, there, but it would have just been consolation goal anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. But obviously, if that was to equalise, you'd be quite annoyed. But it's a great play from Tom, and obviously commiserations to Ali there.
Yeah, the only English player in the final eight makes it into a semi-final, guarantees himself another €500 on top of the 250 he already got for qualifying in this. Let's talk through the highlights because there's so much to talk about, and we have to talk about the first big goal. How about this one for a finish from Lucas Paqueta? Take a bow. What a start to the game that was.
What a finish it was there from him, and obviously to concede basically 7 minutes later with a little cheeky chip like that from Messi, letting him get in that position. Obviously it was unfortunate for it to not get defended well there, but 1-2 pass in here, gets Dembele on that right foot and puts it into the back of the net. He's just going forward, he's sensational, and he's a player that you can't defend, and in that position you cannot let Messi on his left foot, and he does, and he green times it, and he green times it again there. Quite unfortunate not to actually score from that. If he took a few more touches, might have scored, and so many opportunities he's getting here, but couldn't put it in the back of the net. And we see that cross into Ronaldo, and obviously it falls to him kindly. Quite unfortunate there from Ali, but he's just getting shots after shots after shots. And we see it here again, and this time a green time chip in that position. You're not going to save it. And here, hill to hill, obviously not sure if that was green time, it doesn't show it was, but a great finish. And chance here for Ali, obviously scores into the back of the net, but for me it was a consolation goal, and Tom obviously does get another opportunity. He shot cancels and then just puts it into the back of the net.
Well, here we go. From 2,700 players that signed up to this tournament and competed, there's only 4 names that remain. It is going to be an incredible ending here, and the great thing is we've got 4 different nationalities in this bracket still. We've got English, Italian, German and Dutch across these 4 players. Tom, Brewer Torre 76, ACX20, Dennis_Menace01. That is your final 4 of the bracket, and that one will plan out to be an exciting game. If you win your semi-final, Lisa, you are guaranteed the trip, the hospitality package to Sweden next month in Stockholm. I mean, it sounds easy and it is, but you have to play your best of 3 in this next game for that to be a case.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to play your best, because if you don't, you're staying out of the competition and you're missing out on that massive, massive prize, which for these, I'm pretty sure they're not going to be really caring about the money, but going to that Stockholm in Sweden to watch that final is going to be massive for all these players.
No, absolutely. It's going to be incredible for these players. You are sitting there thinking, how can I get involved in tournaments that are so good like this? Down below us right now is a link, compete.playstation.com. Get involved, sign up. There are so many tournaments for players at all skill levels. Trust me, you're thinking, am I good enough? Give it a go. Tournaments for in-game currency, real cash, in-game avatars, and much, much more. Compete.playstation.com. Get involved. We're off for a quick break now. When we return, it's semi-final time here in the eChampions League Fan Cup. We'll be back in a few minutes' time. Welcome back to the FIFA 22 eChampions League Fan Cup. You join myself, Brandon Smith, and Lisa Manley for the coverage of today's Grand Finals, where we will be finding one winner, but also giving 3 players out of 7,000 that signed up the chance to go for a trip of a lifetime to Sweden for the eChampions League Finals next month. 1,000 signed up, Lisa. This is our final 4. They must be buzzing, but also so nervous to be in this stage of the tournament.
Exactly like you said, buzzing and nervous, because if they win this game, they're in the final, and they also get that ticket booked to Sweden next month. But with the way Tom just played, he's going to be raring to go in this one. He scored about, what, 15, 16 goals? So Carburetor is going to have a lot to do in the next game to beat him, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he won 8-0 and then 7-2 if you missed that game. The English player in this tournament, Tom Zoe, goes by his gamer tag. He's up against this player, though, the Italian. Let's find out a bit more about this Italian player, Carburetor, 76, if I've got the pronunciation of that right. The only Italian player left in this tournament. He's only 16, and I mean, that doesn't surprise us in this FIFA scene. You've got to be 16 to compete in any of these tournaments at the competition centre with PlayStation and FIFA esports in general. 16 is the minimum age to compete. From Genova in Italy, this is his run. Unbelievable in the Swiss round to qualify. Went 8-0, and he hasn't lost a game today, Lisa. He's been very impressive, and this is the team, I believe, that he has been using in this tournament. This is his key to success.
And it's interesting to obviously see no loans in these teams, as loans are allowed, but he's obviously confident with his team. He's got gold Neymar, interesting. He hasn't got the flashback or in form. He's got Mbappe in form, Messi in form. Obviously, he's not got that Team of the Year version that Tom has got. Hullet in the midfield. He's just going to be a great player. It's additional in the team. Bellingham Jude, that foot birthday Ronaldo that we saw Tom have. He's got Klosterman at the back with, obviously, that Varane. He's a solid player. And then he's actually got Neuer in goal with Reece James, and I think it's Ginter his name is classed as, at left back. But I mean, what a team that is. So I feel like in terms of teams, he's not going to get out-teamed, because they actually are quite similar teams. Obviously, I feel like Tom's probably got the edge on the team a little bit, but he's got a great midfield, has Carburetor.
Yeah, I think the differences are the key differences are Team of the Year players versus informs, or their normal gold items in game. Klosterman, good to see him back in the team. We know he's always been a pacey defender by trade. That Ginter, one of the foot captain items, comes in. And a really impressive player, just to quickly speak about, as you rightly said, is Jude Bellingham. What is it about him, his future star item, that is so good? Because pro players have even been using him in their teams, and they play on, special accounts where they can pretty much use any player of their choosing. And with Prime Michael Moments out on Team of the Years, he still features in a lot of the pro teams.
Yeah, he's a great player. I know when I used him in the last EA tournament where it was Unlocked account, he's a quite expensive player, but he's just a great addition in that team. He's very tall as well. He's got a great body type as well, so he can just put a leg in when needed. Going forward, he can put himself on a header, attacking and going and defending as well. So I feel like overall he's a great addition, especially next to that Ruud Hullet as well. I feel like he won't really be conceding many headers in this game. Well, he shouldn't do anyway with Bellingham in the team and obviously Hullet. I feel like when Tom player locks and then puts Ronaldo in a better position, realistically, Hullet should be there and Jude should be there as well. But a great start here from Carburetor.
Yeah, it's probably a bit obvious to wonder who is Carburatore. He's playing in the AC Milan kit, proud Italian, just 16 years of age. He won his last quarter-final matchup 1-0 and then 5-2. He got it done in 2 games. He wasn't one of the players that needed the best of 3. However, we have to give the hype that that man deserves on the flip side. 15 goals he scored, only conceded 2 of them. This man has got a record for scoring goals. His second-man press has been relentless. It's been outstanding. I'll be honest, I expect more of the same, unless we can see a serious performance here from the youngster.
Yeah, we saw last game, obviously, Tom's opponent was unbeaten as well. Obviously didn't come out too well in the last game in terms of how many goals he conceded, but he was a great player. Tom just played really well, and he's so young, is Carburatore, only 16 years of age, and we saw the story of Tex being so young and winning tournaments, so he can definitely do it here. But a great player lock into a great position and great defending there. But we mentioned, obviously, Jude Bellingham and his team, great midfielder to be in his team with his 97 aggression, 97 stamina. He's just going to be running round in the midfield, and he's just not going to be able to be stopped with how much stamina he has there. But great start here, to be honest with you, from Carburatore. He's held in Tom at bay as such. He hasn't really had many opportunities this early into the game. You know, in the last game we saw him, 2 goals up at this stage, so it's been more of a close game, you could say. Maybe nerves on the line as well.
Definitely. I mean, you win this game, you can bag yourself even more cash, Lisa. And this is the game where you will get yourself that trip of a lifetime hospitality package. Will be confirmed to the Champions League finals. Here's Marcelo now for Tom. He was deadly in the first game. Went to corner. 15 minutes played here. Into the box it shall go. Defended well by Hullet. Seems like Hullet and Bellingham will sit comfortably in the midfield too in this. What I'd like to say started as a 4-4-2, but now becomes a 4-2-4 when they attack. Mbappe, Neymar, Ronaldo, Messi all along the front 4. It's a deadly front 4. There is Günther, foot captain. There has to be a link to Klosterman in the team. It will be a recent foot captain German fullback that will tick that box. Dembele, player that made a serious name for himself, finds Mbappe now. It's a fortunate bounce back. Here's Tom with Mbappe, reverse elastico, does well, stings the hands of the goalkeeper. Corner to be played quickly. Dembele again, the provider. Back to Mbappe, skill moves around, goes down to ground. Referee says get back up on your feet. But defended well by Carburatore, 76.
I feel like in this game, Tom's probably going to struggle to score sort of how he did last game in terms of from corners, whipping it in. As we mentioned, obviously, he's got more of a tall team. Has Carburatore and that Hullet and the Bellingham, and obviously he's got Klosterman at the back with Varane. So I feel like he won't maybe score more goals or any goals at all whipping it in. You might see maybe a few more player locks and trying to work sort of centre of the pitch as such, because you're not going to really score much when you're whipping it in from corners or in general from whipping it in from the edge of the box.
Build him. Mbappe off the post. So close to an opening goal in the first 30 minutes. So close to the perfect start.
Yeah, we saw the sprint boost there, and he's just able to get past his defender, and in that position you do expect Mbappe to score. Maybe he could have green timed it to ensure that, but there was a massive opportunity, and I guess you could say the second time Tom goes down early, if he did, obviously we did see him go a goal down with a great strike from Paqueta last game, but they both started really well in this game, and I'm not even sure he's going to take it at the moment, especially with how both of them have had chances.
Nicely done. Vieira, back to Ronaldo, watch out, he can cause havoc. Ball roll, scoop, turn inside. Again, he's matched it up. This is important. This is something that I'm sure he was watching at the halfway point between the quarter-final and this semi-final game. All the quarter-final games did finish a little bit earlier than the broadcaster one that Tom was involved in. If you are a pro and you're watching this and you've just seen someone score 15 goals, I mean, what notes can you take knowing that you're going to be going up against him in the next game?
I feel like maybe looking at it, you can say you're going to have to try and defend for your life with how many obviously goals he did score. Maybe change formation to more of a defensive formation, 4-1-2-1-2. maybe you could say 4-2-3-1, just maybe more of a defensive formation that you have cover. But when you have Hullet and Bellingham Jude, you're definitely not going to be worried because they're just great defensively and also going forward to give you that outlet going forward in terms of winning headers high up the pitch, defensively winning headers. And we've seen that in this game. He hasn't really been able to get a clear-cut opportunity. We did see the ball roll scoop, but it didn't really turn into anything. But I mean, going forward, I feel like Carball Torre is better than his last opponent that Tom did play, so it's going to be a close game, and I'm not sure which way it's going to go yet.
For a 16-year-old, he showed great composure so far in a huge semi-final game. Sort of has been the way of recent times with opportunities that PlayStation have been offering and sort of the FIFA competitive scene in general. Seems like young players have had a taste of the cash on the line, the competitions, and what it could lead to. And they thought, you know what, let's go and compete and let's see what we can do at the halfway point in this game. 45 minutes played, it's 0-0. This is big, though, for Carball Torre. He's been able to keep a player that likes to score goals at bay for 45 minutes, and I think that will give him a bit of a confidence boost.
Yeah, he's definitely kept it at bay. Both competitors obviously only having one shot each, which definitely shows how tense this game is, how close it is, maybe confidence for both these players high, maybe nerves also there. But I think they both had, in them shots they've both had, it definitely could have been a goal. It wasn't like a shot taken from outside of the box. It was definitely in the box, had a chance of scoring, but it was great defending from both of these. But as you mentioned, having a lot of money on the line, a chance to go to Sweden, especially for Carball Torre, it could have been potentially his first opportunity to go abroad. You know, he's so young, and being able to meet the likes of Tex, obviously the similar age as him when he started. So I feel like these players are going to be like role models as well. So for them, it'll just be amazing to meet them and gives them a sort of a light in where they could go if they carry on doing what they're doing now. And obviously a credit to PlayStation with the tournaments they're putting on, because if you guys haven't already, make sure to obviously enter as well, because it's a massive opportunity to win money, opportunities to play against other good players, to make yourself better. And why not? It's free to enter as well. Just obviously click the link and enter.
Yeah, get involved in the daily tournaments that are taking place at the competition centre provided by PlayStation. Here comes Tom now. Can't get around the corner. Little Messi sort of being kept at bay by Gunter. Done a good job of that in this sort of 4-2-4 that looks to fall into. There's a lot of work to do, though, for Hullet and Jude Bellingham. They've got a lot of ground to cover. There's certainly two players that can do that, the prime Michael moments and the future star. Nicely done again, Bellingham, involved in the perfect triangle. Finds him for Messi, back to Mbappe now. He's building nicely, is the Italian. Hullet, fake back inside to CR7. Maldini wins well. I mean, I ask you the question, if you could have any two centre-backs in your team, I think Ruben Dias team with here is probably one of them. Who else would it be, or would it be two different players for you? Yeah,
I feel like Diaz is a massive player to have in the defence. Also for me, Varane, to be honest with you, I'm one of the players that didn't end up doing him because it was a lot of fodder, and I thought, why not do an icon pack, which didn't turn out great. But I wish I did do him because he's such a great player defensively, and I'm definitely lost for not without having him.
Tries to switch it. Dembele gets a touch on the ball. Has been superb so far. Carball Torre of Italy won his last game 1-0 and 5-2. Got it done in 2 games in the best of 3 format against the Spanish competitor he's up against in that last game. Daniel Bueno. Has not been an easy game in this eChampions League Fan Cup. Everyone that's got here has gone through 8 rounds of Swiss with the perfect record. Messi from distance. That's the warning shot fired. Neuer there, though. That is what Tom has been able to do across these past games, Lisa. He has so many tricks up his sleeve. That finesse shot's one of them.
Yeah, we saw him score a couple of goals from it last game. Obviously, he did green it when he did attempt to do that from that distance. This time he didn't green it, and it was easily caught there from Neuer. But we sort of mentioned, obviously, his Hullet and Bellingham Jude having to do a lot of work in the midfield, and that's reasons why they're used as well, because they both got high stamina. 97 has Jude, and obviously Hullet's got 95, and a great chance here.
Oh, wow. Mbappe! Finds his way through. It might not be player of the month, Mbappe. It's in form, Mbappe, but he does the exact same job. A massive goal. It forces Tom into a pause. It's the first time that he's been in panic or he's had his back against the wall so far in this broadcast. But what a start. And what a goal as well. It came against the run of play and a counter-attack to remember. And it'll be the 16-year-old Italian that will take the lead. I think the youngest player left in the tournament, showing incredible maturity in a huge semi-final. A really well-taken finish.
Yeah, a great finish and great play from him. Obviously, it's the first time Tom has been a goal down this late into the game. Obviously, he did concede a sombrero flick really early on into the last game, but he did come back very quickly before half-time. So, obviously, we have seen him make a couple of changes, potentially go to a different formation, maybe a 4-2-4, maybe a 4-3-2, who knows. But we might see another pause soon, especially for him to go press up the possession loss or constant pressure to try and get back into this game, because you don't want to be a game down, especially against a good player like Carbatore.
Carbatore up by a goal to nil. Just in a sub he's made as well. Jeremy Doku that's come on, the Belgian winger of Rennes. His for birthday item is full of pace and certainly packs a punch. Bellingham around the corner. This could be dangerous if he can get the ball into Hullit's feet. Didn't have enough power in the header, did Neymar. Might win it back kindly on the flip side of this. Ronaldo does well, recycles. Finds Hullit. Keep in mind that each of these games are individual matches in a best of three. Doesn't matter how you win the game. Just getting that point on the board. CR7. Building for Tom. Finds Hakimi all the way from fullback. He's had no choice but to get forward. He wins a corner. That's the only English player left in this tournament. Whipped in deep. Ronaldo would be there. It falls kindly back to Hakimi. He's not going to be a player to take a shot. Marcelo might be instead. He tries to play the one more pass. And again, defensively sound. He's just dealing with everything that's coming his way.
Yeah, defensively, he's definitely been a great player, and he's stopped Tom from scoring all game. And that was something that obviously his opponent, Ali, couldn't do last game. So credit to him. He's obviously a great player, and Tom has had the chances. He's just not able to get it in the back of the net.
CL7, maybe this is that chance. Lisa now, yes! Goal! 6 minutes on the clock. He made a tactical change. I think he pretty much matched him up in a 4-2-4 with how he's been setting out and playing. He's taken that risk. It's worked well for him. It's back into a pause again. There's a couple of changes he's just going to be added on in the last and dying moments of this game. That's a big goal. We are 6 minutes away from potentially an extra time period here.
And what a great goal it was as well. You know, some players watching this, or people watching this, might not know what he did there, but he did a shot cancel, and then he cut back and finished it nicely on his left foot. And most players won't even think about doing that. They just want to get a goal, especially when they've got a score within 4 or 5 minutes of the game. You're just going to want to try and get that shot off. But he didn't. He stayed composed, shot cancelled, and then obviously shot on his left foot. With Ronaldo being 5-star, you can be unpredictable, and that's exactly what he did there. So what a great game this is, and obviously our first game to go to extra time and maybe even penalties.
Yeah, maybe a penalty shootout needed here to decide who will get the first win on the board in the best of three. Ball into Neymar's feet. Last chance of the match will fall to the Italian. Is he offside? Neymar's onside. Last ditch, last chance of the game. Defended well by Maldini. And I think it'll be a free kick the follow away. No, it won't. That'll be extra time needed now. 90 minutes played. Nothing to separate the two. No doubt this has been our most tightly contested game so far in this Champions League fan. Back underway. 30 more minutes. Changes have been made. Fresh legs have been introduced onto the pitch. I think what's more important here, Lisa, is the way that he matched his opponent up. Tom was not really the Tom we saw in the quarterfinals. In the nicest way, every game is different, as we know, but he had to make a tactical change. That's what the best players will do. They'll adapt and they'll change, and they'll have a plan B, a plan C of how they wished and want to play. That's something that Tom was able to fall back on.
Yeah, you've got to be able to use different formations depending on if you need to get a goal or not. And we saw that they're obviously changing to a 4-2-4 and then going back to his 4-1-2-1-2 when he actually did get the goal. And that's why these players are the best of the best. They know how to, I guess, outsmart their opponent, knowing when to change formation, knowing when not to, and he did that well there and obviously got his goal, and now he's going back to the formation that he likes.
Oh, driving with Mbappe. Back to Neuer, this could be a stitch-up, he gets the ball clear. Does very well. Cristiano Ronaldo, there's no surprise he's the player that's won that one. Karbura Toure on the build-up again. Jeremy Doku involved in it. Back to the Belgium. Foot birthday item. Tries to put on a plate for Ronaldo. Couldn't quite fall the way he wanted it to. Messi and all sorts of problems there. We're so close already to the first 50 minutes of extra time being played. Building, and Mbappe, is he on? He is! Perfect timing from the Frenchman, who finds a second in this game on the last kick of extra time in the first 15 minutes. That ball came out of nowhere. Maldini was left in no man's land. And it's the Italian that's got the smallest and the most slender of leads going into the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, and what a finish that was. And to be honest with you, I actually thought he was offside. What a pass to get him into that position. And like you mentioned, Maldini in no man's land. And what a finish that was. And we saw him building up, waiting for that last attack. And that's why these players do. You don't want to concede at that stage of the game. And that's why he held it and he waited and waited and waited. And then was able to get the goal that he I feel deserved, I guess. I feel like it's been a close game, but I feel like he's had the better opportunities between the two. And Tom's going to be a bit disheartened to concede last minute, and especially as it did look offside. But, I mean, what a goal it was, and well taken from the 16-year-old.
Tell you what, it could be another one here, Lisa. Ronaldo, look at the time, look at the space, look at the options, ball roll. Tom does well to get rid of it. Scoop turn back the other way, inside, blocked on the line by Ruben Dias, who's down with an injury. He's back up on his feet. Jeremy Doku can't find a way through, defended again well by Tom once and twice. The pressure remains relentless though. Reece James this time will try his best to feed the ball into the foot birthday Belgian winger. What is it about that last chance of the game that we just saw in the last kick off the first half of extra time? Why do pro players look for that, and how do they go about it?
Yeah, a lot of the pros going into the last kick of the game, they want to hold it because it's, you know, it's basically the worst time to concede, isn't it? So they got to try and wait and wait and wait to get that perfect opportunity. Normally, if there's 1 minute added on, they go about 120 and then just push forward, everyone forward. If it goes a little bit over and you're in an attacking position, obviously the ref won't blow the whistle. So that's why they do it, because if they go forward and they score, they score. If they don't, they can't concede from it.
Karbura Toure is only 4 minutes away from opening up this best of three with an important win. Or is there a reply from Tom? Player that scored 15 goals in the quarterfinals. Ball roll does well. Cristiano Ronaldo, he was the goal scorer of that important goal. João Cancelo involved, disguised that pass. Elastico again. Still CR7 trying to cause problems. It's another good defensive tackle. Ball back to Tom. Messi finds CR7, who's got literally no stamina left. Does well to break out this constant pressure. And you'd like to say that the youngest player left in this bracket is on his way to a first win in this best of three. Surely he will be. We've played the added time of 1 minute. Karbura Toure is up by a point in this best of three. A really solid, professional, mature performance. And what a game it was. Extra time in our first match-up here. Very different to the quarterfinals we saw just about an hour ago before that. Very, very different. But there's huge stakes on the line. It's expected.
Yeah, I mean, what a great performance there from Torre. But Tom, it was interesting, obviously, to see him scoring so many goals in the last game, to go into this game and not really get many opportunities. Is it because of nerves? Is it because, obviously, Torre is a better player? Who knows? But I think going into the next game, he's going to have to try and get more opportunities here. Obviously, a great fake shot stop there and reverse elastico and a great save. And then another opportunity here for Tom really early on. A great finesse shot there, obviously, from Messi on the left foot, but great save. And obviously, this was Torre's goal. Great finish there from Mbappe, and here a great ball roll into CR7. A great shot cancel, and a great finish there, and that makes it 1-1. And there does look like he's offside a little bit, in my opinion. But I mean, a great finish and a great pass to him. Because for me, I know I wouldn't have been passing that because he looked a little bit offside, but a great finish.
Yeah, Torre has been incredible. I mean, the fact that we had the first goal in the 71st minute and then we had 2 goals following that. If we can have a look at his foot team, if possible, just to see what is the key to success for this Italian player, Lisa, because he has been really impressive, and I think he has been out-teamed. I mean, if we get to see Tom's team at some point and we could do a bit of a comparison as well between the two, I would say he's been out-teamed, but yes, it might be Player of the Month Mbappe or an inform Mbappe. Mbappe as a whole, you know, Team of the Year, I mean, Team of the Year is a different animal completely, but this inform Mbappe he's got has been incredible for him. That's his team, and that's been his key to success.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, Mbappe scored all the goals for him. I don't really think it matters if you have his Player of the Month, you have his Team of the Year, you have his informs, you have his headline. He's got so many cards this year. He's been a great player, obviously, for PSG. But we see the rest of his team. It's interesting to see, obviously, just gold Neymar. He has got so many variations. Obviously, his flashback, inform. And then I feel like for him, the key to success actually has been his midfield, with Hullet and Bellingham Jude being in the midfield, being able to obviously keep his crosses at bay. Obviously, we did see him score a lot of goals from crossing it, going short from crosses, and you know, Hullet and Bellingham are going to be winning the headers for him. And defensively, Klosterman and Varane, we mentioned Varane over and over again. He's in everyone's team. Klosterman is very interesting, obviously, to see him in the team. We don't really see him too often, but he is very pacey and he's a great defender for
just
these
a quick
players.
One on the bench. Sorry, Lisa, just to jump in there, you saw Jeremy Doku there, a player that's come on for him. But then this is the team on the flip side. Yes, definitely out-team to this one. Talk me through Tom's team, but credit to Torre. He did not settle, he did not surrender. He played very well. And look at the team he's up against. How many Team of the Year items are in that?
There is a lot of Team of the Year items in his team. Obviously, he's got 5 in total, and several of them actually being loans. Obviously, Messi, Mbappe and Cancelo all being loans, and obviously he has got that Vieira in the midfield. We know he can play centre back, he can play centre mid. I feel like for Tommy, he's definitely playing in the midfield role. You got obviously foot birthday Ronaldo, who's been scoring a lot of goals for him, and then player locks, and obviously with Mbappe. But it's interesting, obviously, to see that Dembele card. He's such an expensive card, obviously 4+ million coins, but we've seen why he's in his team for that dribbling, the pace, the shooting, and then Marcelo has been key for Tom as well. Obviously putting him in that midfield role, being able to go forward defensively with him as well, and obviously seeing Maldini in his team. And yeah, it's great teams. I feel like you mentioned, he has definitely got the better team, so credit to Torre being able to keep him at bay, and he has done that so well in that game. Obviously one late goal in that game to sort of see the tie, to be honest.
Yeah, and just a further point on that, we are playing on FIFA Ultimate Team, to people that might be thinking, what is this mode? Why is Ronaldo and Messi in the same team, and Mbappe and so forth? It is FIFA Ultimate Team, the popular mode that competitive FIFA is played upon. There are tournaments on the competition centre that are not Ultimate Team based. For example, there was a Champions League one recently where you could play as the teams in the Champions League that still are remaining there. Check out all those tournaments, as we said, at compete.playstation.com for your chance to be involved in winning some incredible prizes. We believe that we're going to be jumping in to the second game as soon as we can. It's a little bit like this right now. If Tom wins this next game, we go to a third matchup. If he loses, it is going to be a grand final spot for the Italian player of 16 years of age, Torre, who will be on his way to Sweden as well, and guaranteed some serious cash, Lisa, if he can keep his calm and win this game.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on the line for both of these, and for me, even more now for Tom being, I guess you could say, a game down. So obviously he's got to sort of send it, you could say, in this game, send everyone forward, try and get that early goal, because if he goes 1-0 down, he's going to have even more pressure on his side. And Torre just playing so well for such a young player as well. It's sensational to see. It just shows that anyone watching this, if you're 16 years of age and you're at a decent level in your opinion, get a coach, try and find a team, play against better players, because you could potentially be in this situation. And being able to go to Stockholm and actually winning decent money, 16 years of age, if he wins this, he's getting a lot of money, and then you could class that as pocket money. You can even buy whatever you want with it, FIFA points maybe. There's so many things you can buy with it, and I feel like for him, this is just a great opportunity for him, and I'm happy to see him doing so well.
The man on the ball now needs to win this game, at least if he wants to turn his fortunes around. It's Ousmane Dembele, foot fantasy, I-turn, perfect start. For the player that's worth over 4 million coins in FIFA. That's why.
Exactly that. We mentioned, obviously, before the game, him being so expensive, and it's interesting to see him in his team. Because of that, obviously, you can have so many different players in your team, but he obviously chose to go with that Dembele card, and we mentioned why. You know, he's got 99 pace, 97 dribbling, 93 shooting, and obviously he's got him in that sort of striker position where if he gets him on the ball, he can twist and turn, you'd be unpredictable, 5-star, 5-star. He's just a great player to use, and we're seeing him here again on and in and around the box.
Vieira tries his best to find the double tap pass into Cristiano Ronaldo. It's so key that he did score the first goal after going down 1-0 in the last game. He allowed Carvaratore to have the opportunity to take control of this game. You see the offside trap, just teased there, does enough to steer him away from playing forward. But one thing that's been really impressive for me from the Italian player, Lisa, is just how much he's loved being on the ball. He's loved keeping possession, and how important Hullet and Jude Bellingham are. It's a popular duo. This is a really nice attack from Mbappe, by the way. Mbappe, again, great save by the feet of Van der Sar. But just the way he's utilising his two midfielders, Carvaratore, Jude Bellingham and Hullet, it's quite difficult, them two, because they're so far stretched in. You can see, look, a 4-2-4 on your screen right now, but they're just popping it from side to side. They're getting on the ball, they're getting the fullbacks involved. Their positioning is superb, and just their long passing, their short passing, everything about them has been really, really impressive.
Yeah, and I feel like that's why he's doing so well in this game, is obviously keeping Tom McVeigh from doing what he likes doing in terms of putting the ball into the box. And that's how we see him score a lot of goals last game. I feel that's why he has to change his game up a little bit, and that's why he hasn't been scoring as many goals as he was prior to this game. And obviously that's credit to Carvaratore with the way he's defending, but it's also with him stopping and keeping Tom McVeigh from actually having any opportunities. We only saw him last game have like 2 opportunities, and a great opportunity here.
Back inside, Ronaldo, reverse elastico, defended well. No round on that occasion. Dembele. Building. Finds Mbappe. Dembele for a brace, maybe. No, Hullet defended well, as we were speaking how good he's been. There's another case study of what the touch midfielder can do. A box-to-box midfielder can get forward and make things happen, but also just sit along that back four and command and defend and protect the back line.
Yeah, I feel like it's good to have sort of 2 midfielders that can help defensively and also help going forward. Obviously, you've got Hullet and you've also got Jude. And for me, I like to have one midfielder that can go forward and one that can sort of help a little bit defensively. And I feel like even with both of these players, they're both great going forward and defensively. And a great hit opportunity, potentially a great scoop turn there, but a great defending from Tom. But yeah, you know, it's great to have them sort of players in the box, and especially for Jude Bellingham as well. Obviously, he's got 94 agility and he's got 95 reaction, so he's able to win that ball so quickly and attack with him, and that's what he's doing. You can see him sort of just next to each other, just trying to defend the back line, and they're doing it really well.
Dembele, as we said, one thing that he also offers his team is that you can play. He's your out-and-out forward, but also by trade, we know he's a winger, a tricky winger at that. Ronaldo, good feet, Messi. Watch out for that man's left boot, the team of the year in-game item of PSG. Scored the title-winning goal for PSG just a weekend ago. I'll be hoping that he can be in the team of the season for the Liga 1 when that comes round in a few weeks' time. Lovely ball over the top. What a ball! Better save from Van der Sar.
I mean, what a ball that was, by the way, and obviously a great save. But as you mentioned, Dembele, it's been a great card for them. I feel like he's a little bit more confident in this game as well. We're seeing a bit more skill moves, player locks as well. We didn't really see too many player locks last game, or if we did, not many that actually worked for him. But you know, he's getting in and around the box. We saw a McGeady cancel, which is a great skill move to use to be a little bit unpredictable. Obviously, when you do a McGeady cancel, you sort of, when you do it, you sort of end up in the same position. Whereas when McGeady cancel, you end out in a different way. And what a great pass this is, and a potential chance from Messi. I mean,
left boot again.
It's unfortunate, really, isn't it? I mean, what a chance that was. In my opinion, that would have been a great goal to score and potentially see this game out. But great keeper movement as well. Great save.
Marcelo battling on his own. All over the top. Be the last chance of the first 45 minutes here. Half-time between these two. And it's the Italian that is now down by a goal. A player that was so used to scoring in Tom Zoe has now finally been able to get back in front for a change in this game. It was an early goal. That was what's been the key difference here for him. And he's just been able to, I think, have a better approach to this game. I think he might have even started in a slightly different formation, to be honest, Lisa, to try and match up what Carbatore been doing in that first leg.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's good to match your opponent. It sort of stops them from doing exploiting areas of the pitch where you're not covering as such. You know, if you're going to play at three at the back formation, you're going to have more players in the midfield and less at the back. So if you're playing more of an attacking formation, you have more players going forward and therefore can sort of push them back as such. So if you're matching the same formation, you're able to sort of have players in the same position, which is kind of hard to defend against. So for me, I think he's done a lot better this game. You know, going forward, he's had 4 shots to Carbatore's 1, and therefore for me, going forward, it's his best attribute, right? And he's been able to get them opportunities where I feel like he could potentially be 2 goals up. That was a great opportunity last, I guess you could say, kick of the half, where he ended up getting a great save from the goalkeeper. But what a start in this game. Obviously, maybe it was nerves in the first game. He mentioned obviously a big prize pool, and now he has to win, otherwise he's out. So I feel like getting that early goal is definitely going to give him a boost of confidence.
Ronaldo looking for that equaliser. Well, he's trying to be the driving force for the attack. Around the corner on that occasion. Mbappe. Get the ball back to Messi. Tom Zoe. Player's got rich history in the PlayStation tournament. He's featured in quite a handful in his time over the last few months. Already bagged €250 for getting to this stage, and whoever wins this game will also bag 1,000 more euros and that all-important trip to the Champions League final. Wonder what we're talking about there. It's not the Champions League final, the eChampions League, a FIFA tournament where 8 players will battle out in Stockholm on the 27th of May for $75,000 in prize money. The likes of Tex will be there, Nicholas99, popular PlayStation players you may have heard of in previous years that have been to the FIFA E-World Cup, some of the biggest tournaments in the world of FIFA. Be quite the company to be chilling out without the tournament. That's very risky from Tom. He got away with that one.
Yeah, you could potentially say maybe a bit of nerves kicking in, being so close to going into the next leg, but that could have definitely cost him massively. And a gift, you could say, for Carbatore if he ended up getting a goal there. And unfortunate as well, obviously, they didn't end up falling to him, but fortunate for Tom that he didn't give away a goal there, because that would have been very, very fortunate for his opponent. And a gift, you could say.
Messi. That's to Bellingham. Bellingham again, back to Mbappe. Turning, twisting, what a save, Van der Sar. Better and it's more dangerous from Carbatore. Corner taken quickly, finds Reece James of Chelsea. Can't get past Mbappe on that occasion. What a chance that was, Lisa. Just about saving the day, Van der Sar again.
I mean, what a chance that was, to be honest with you. I feel like it would be a little bit hard done by not scoring there. We saw obviously the Lacroqueta pass, or council pass, and got into a great position. It's a great save. That's why you have the likes of obviously Van der Sar in goal and all these other goalkeepers that you can have, obviously Mendy and stuff like that. But great chance here.
This is it. This is it to conclude it. Cut back inside. Didn't back Ronaldo there, which would have found quite interesting.
Very, very interesting, to be honest with you. I feel like he'd be very upset and annoyed with himself there, because it looked like he did go for the shot cancel and tried to cut inside, but Ronaldo in them positions, you've got to be shooting, surely, and it would have probably been a set goal for it to go in as well, but he didn't opt for it, and it could end up biting him. He could end up, you know, conceding late on here and go into extra time, but he does seem to be in the driving seat in this game so far. You know, he's trying to keep the ball now, trying to make him press the ball, have opportunities going in behind, especially when you're pressing the ball. You know, they're all forward and there's gaps in behind, so might see maybe a pause, a bit of constant pressure, but he seems to be making quite a few mistakes here, and Carbatore is able to break forward.
Could be a late chance here. Carbatore, can he remain composed? Of course he can. No, he can't. What a chance squandered for Mbappe. You will not get a better chance than that. He put it on a plate of the Frenchman, and I don't know what button he's pressed there, Lisa. I have no idea.
I mean, I don't even know what he's done there. You know, you've done the right thing as well. You know, we always talk about the extra pass to make it a cert goal. He put it across the box, and well, I have no clue what he's done. Maybe his controls turned to alternate and he's clicked the wrong button. I don't know, but that's very unfortunate. And you can also say fortunate for Tom. You know, he gave the ball away in a dangerous position, you could say, and he almost got punished for it. We did mention him maybe being punished for not taking that shot earlier on, and we're obviously seeing some changes here. Defensively, you could say, obviously he is trying to see out this win and nerves get into him. You can definitely say that obviously we are seeing a 5-4-1, I think that says. Obviously he's got Mings coming on to help defend. Obviously he's got Sancho on the left side, that FUT birthday card, 5-star, 5-star, Bellingham, Jude in the midfield. He's making it so everyone is back and helping, which it could go well for him, obviously, if he does end up winning this game. But potentially if he does go a goal down to make it 1-1, then he's got so many defensive players on, which could go to haunt him. So it's interesting, and you might watch and you might think that's a great decision, but if he does end up conceding a goal here, he's got a lot of defensive players on the pitch, which he won't be able to score, will he, if he's got too many defensive players on. So it's interesting, but it's a good play from him. He needs to try and keep this win.
To be honest, I think that's the lifeline that he needed, to be honest. With 15 minutes left to play, he will not get a better chance than what Carvatore did have there. Literally on a plate for Mbappe. Click circle, aim it towards the goal. And that would have been 1-1. Mings comes on for Tom, just to try and solidify this result. Carvatore get picked off though when he has to put more bodies and numbers forward now. Player lock tease, finds Bellingham. CR7 with Jadon Sancho now in the attack. Comes it out of play. Will give possession back to the Italian now. 7 minutes just under left of this second game in the best of two. If he does win this game, Tom, we'll go to a third game. Finds Ronaldo to solidify the result. Massive save again, Neuer. Did everything right there, to be honest. He timed the shot green. So there's no way through. We'll get one more chance. Or not, Carvatore, maybe nervous in possession. Look at the gaps. Look at the space for Tom Zoa to exploit. I think this is his game, surely, Lisa.
There always is one more opportunity in the game. Obviously, if he can win the ball right now, potentially it can go to him, but we're seeing him actually try and waste time here, and he's doing it very, very well. You know, he had a chance there to always have an opportunity, but he decided to opt to go to the corner, which is a great thing to do if you're trying to see out a win, and then we see it here. Short corner, he's just trying to wait for it to hit that 91st minute, and he'll boot out of play, and he did there. And a great, great win there for Tom. Obviously, he needed to do it, otherwise he was out of the competition. So it's now 1-1. They both won a game. It's going to be interesting to see who obviously does win in that next game. But to be honest with you, it can go either way.
Yeah, and how tightly contested have these games been, by the way? 2-1 we had after extra time in game one. That went the way of the Italian player, Carvatore. And then that game went the opposite way. Here's the highlights from that match. We waited a little while for the first goal, which was only 8 minutes in. And after that, it was just loads of chances, loads of good chances. But there was one big chance, Lisa, that was missed late into the tie from Carvatore, and he should have really taken it. It was on a plate for Mbappe. I'm sure he would have pressed circle. I'm sure he would have put it towards the goal. It's one of them. He can't really do much more. If he's put the right button input into the game, I've no idea why Mbappe's kicked out into row Z.
Yeah, to be honest with you, it's unfortunate, to be honest with you. He did the right thing, obviously putting it across the box to make it a 100% goal. No goalkeeper in the goal, but yeah, I don't know what he did. Obviously, Mbappe did miss. But I think in the next game going into it, whoever does get that first goal is obviously likely going to win the game, because we've seen that the person that scored the first goal is the person that's gone on to win. So I think the first goal was massive for one of these competitors, but there's going to be a lot of nerves on the line, obviously. A lot of money, that ticket booked. It's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, well, if we can have a look at the prize pot breakdown, if that is possible to tell everyone that's watching what is up for grabs here. You might be thinking, what is this eChampions League Fan Cup all about? Obviously, we're coming to the Champions League semi-finals and finals across the next month in May. There is FIFA tournaments that take place alongside that, of PlayStation being one of the biggest partners of the eChampions League. A FIFA tournament with $200,000 in prize money. This is a little tournament. I say little, a big tournament that partners alongside that. What do you get if you do win this game? Well, you finish top 2, so you're guaranteed €1,000 and the hospitality package. For those that are wondering what that package entails, Lisa, tell us all.
Yeah, it means you get to go to the eChampions League final, where the best of the best are going to be there. Obviously, Tex, Nicholas, you get to watch it in person, even get to meet them, obviously. And for these players, it's going to be a massive opportunity, especially for Carburatore if he makes it there, because 16 years of age, realistically, Tex could be an idol for him, obviously, winning at such a young age and winning back to back to back. So I feel like going into this, he's going to be nervous. Same for Tom as well, obviously. It's a lot of money on the line as well, but that package is huge.
Yeah, and again, let's talk about it in a bit more detail. eChampions League, a trip to Stockholm in Sweden next month, 27th of May. You'll be there, front row seat, watching the FIFA tournament conclude of 8 players. So Tex is there, Nicholas 99 FC. If you're a FIFA fan, you'll know who he is. The Argentine, popular name on PlayStation. Has been to eWorld Cups in the past. He's going to be there. You're going to get to play some games against influencers. It's just going to be a really fun couple of days out in Stockholm on the build-up to the eChampions League grand finals. Lots to talk about, lots still to unfold. This game, though, is into its 3rd game. It's our 3rd best of 3 that's gone to the 3rd game on stream. Who do you think's got the upper hand in this one, Lisa? Because obviously we saw Carburatore kick off with a win after extra time. Now he's off the back of a defeat, but only by a goal, and he did create chances in that game. Yeah,
I mean, both these players obviously won their best of 2 in the last round, you could say. So I think going into this one, I feel like for me it's just going to be the first person to score. They're both great defensively and going forward, so I think it's going to be whoever can score first and whoever can keep the nerve as well. Obviously we see a few mistakes there from Tom late in that game. Obviously nerves maybe getting to him, knowing that he's going to move into the next stage and being a chance of actually winning this. So I think for me it's whoever can keep the nerve down, and I feel like maybe Carburatore might have this because he's playing really, really well.
Yeah, and I think the big thing here is that yes, money's great. Yes, €1,000 is very tasty, but there is an unbelievable trip, as we'll keep on saying. We're not going to be quiet about it. This is the first ever time there's been a package like this in a tournament. Trust me, I've been lucky to commentate on the Champions League for the last few years. There's never been a PlayStation tournament like this that's given you what a hospitality package this honestly is. An incredible opportunity, and a massive thank you to PlayStation and the Champions League and EA Sports FIFA for allowing this to happen. We hear the game is loading in for our 3rd match. If you are just joining us, you're joining us for the first semi-final of 2. There's still a lot more FIFA to talk about, a lot more games to play. Here we go, we're underway. It is match 3. It's Tom from left to right, the only English player left in the tournament, and Carburatore of Italy, the youngest player left in the competition. 16 is the Italian player, but he's shown a lot more experience for a player that's playing in his first ever competitive year, hasn't he?
Yeah, he definitely has. You know, he's a player that's great going forward, also defensively, and he's got a nerve. You know, he's doing great skill moves. He's doing cancels. He looks like he's been in the scene for a good few years, and maybe that's down to coaching, friends that he's played against, or just his own natural ability. There is some people out there that are just naturally talented, and he looks like he's one of them, to be honest with you. We know other players like Anders, Tex, that were young and got to this stage, but he does look a great player, and I'm sure if he wins this, he might even get snapped up by an org.
Oh, absolutely. Carburatore, proud AC Milan fan, it looks like. In the AC Milan strip from right to left. AC Milan player starting in the team. There might be 1 or 2 on the bench for him. Building nicely, Messi back to Dembele. Messi, Dembele. Patient is Tom. He was a goal scorer in the quarterfinals earlier today. Scored 15 in total. Finds Mbappe nowhere around the corner that time. He's been a lot more patient in the build-up, is Tom. No way through, unfortunately.
I feel like that's like what we saw in the first game for Tom. We didn't really see him having much patience, and he was just going forward trying to score more and more goals. Whereas when you play Carburatore, that's not something that he was really doing in the first leg. He was rushing and he was trying to get the goals. And against a player like Carburatore, you can't do that. In this game, obviously, we've seen him start very well. We've seen him actually trying to make more chances by passing and trying to find them gaps in behind. And I think that's how he'll beat Carburatore if he keeps that up.
Nicely done. CR7! onside! And off the mark. Who else would it be? Big games need big game players. Look no further than Cristiano Ronaldo.
The GOAT himself, and what a pass that was as well, to get him into that position and slotted nicely past the goalkeeper. We mentioned it over and over again. Cristiano Ronaldo, you know, most players, even on unlocked accounts, choose that foot birthday Ronaldo, and another chance here.
Could be two. Could be two, Lisa. Cut back post. How on earth he's got round there? Just about done enough, Ruben Dias. Stopping Messi at the back post. That could have easily been 2-0.
Yeah, last-ditch challenge as well. And straight down the other end here for Tom, and great defending. But yeah, we mentioned over and over again, players having this foot birthday Ronaldo, even if they have an unlocked account and they can have Team of the Year version of him, they opt for this version. 5-star, 5-star, 95 shooting, 90 pace. He's just a great player. And obviously that height he brings to the team as well, being able to get on the end of headers.
Nicely done. Look at the pace boost from CR7. Might fall back kindly. It will. Mbappe! That is a very, very kind and fortunate goal. The FIFA gods are looking down on that man.
Very, very fortunate to get back to him there, but a great finish from Mbappe, obviously. I feel like a little lucky, like you mentioned, but he was a bit unlucky last game in the sense of Mbappe missing that opportunity when he put it across the box. So in some games you can get lucky, some games you can get unlucky, and obviously in this game he's got a little bit lucky, but I think he started off brightly as well.
2-0 down. He needs to reply instantly. Vieira. Messi thought about a left foot finesse there, couldn't quite have the chance to take that one forward properly. Vieira again, finds Mbappe this time. One thing that I've been so impressed, Lisa, about Carbatoure's game is that he hasn't panicked defensively at any point. There's not been a button jam or a button press that's been too uncharacteristic. Another good tackle at the back, maybe a bit fortunate from Varane there to get a toe on it.
And a great player lock there as well from Tom to try and get in that position. Obviously, that's why you have Varane in them positions, able to get his long legs in the way of the pass. And that was a great opportunity, to be honest with you, where he was able to sort of pass across the box, but well defended there from Varane. And Carbatore just looks like a different type of player this game. Defensively, solid. Forward, he's been solid as well. Obviously, he's had them 2 opportunities. He's taken them really, really well. And we see this short corner here, and great defending there from Tom. But we're seeing the player lock again from him. And he decides to actually just sprint boost and a chance.
Just run and run, Ousmane Dembele. Oh, wow, he's done so well. Ousmane Dembele. 99 pace, look at the pace on him. Just ran and ran and ran, had a ball roll in him to get around the goalkeeper. Sometimes it doesn't need to be pretty, Lisa. Just get your head down, run, and get yourself back into the game.
I mean, what a goal that was. And, you know, people don't realise, but obviously we saw the play lock there, and that's where, you know, Carbatore thought he was going to pass it, because you can see him making a run with a different person. And he thought, you know what, I'm fast enough and I'm going to go for it myself. And he did, and a great ball roll around the goalkeeper. And, you know, it's great composure. Some people will just chip from there, they'll just shoot from there. But no, he decides to do a ball roll around the keeper, and it's an open goal, and you're not going to miss from there. So, I mean, what a well-taken goal that was. And to get him actually potentially back into this game, it's only 1 goal deficit now for him.
Gunter back to Hullet. Triangle between Klosterman and Hullet. And the fullback didn't work out as well on that occasion. Building nicely. Playing short. Ball roll, Neymar. There is a bit of a difference in the squads we mentioned between the two. But it hasn't phased him half-time. It is 2-1 to the Italian. It was a gift of a second goal, for being completely honest, Lisa, at the halfway point. But Tom has had more possession. He's been in control a bit more. Just hasn't been able to find that final sort of key cutting-edge pass. I mean, the goal he did score was brave and was quite ballsy, to be honest, from Dembele. But he backed himself. He's got the in-game stats to do that.
Yeah, exactly. He's obviously got the 99 pace and the 97 dribbling. So, you know, and it was great defending realistically, you could say, from Carbatore in terms of marking the pass. that he was about to make, but instead he decided to dribble with it, and yeah, it was a great goal, especially with doing the ball around the keeper where most players wouldn't do that. But Carl Torre, for me, he's obviously had the better chances, he's had more shots, but I feel like Tom can potentially get back into this game. He's just got to try to see the next goal and see what happens from there. But Carl Torre, definitely a great defensive player, so it's going to be hard.
Marcelo into Cancelo in that. Rhymes perfectly well between the two fullbacks that feature in this team. One team in the year, 1 foot captain item. One ball over the top. Goes out of play. It's a really hopeless ball, actually. Trying to work out how to manage the game. If you're in this situation, Lisa, you've got big money on the line, big prizes. You're in a winning position. How do you change your gameplay? How do you change your game plan in this situation?
I mean, it depends what type of player you are. Realistically, if you're playing well, you should just stay in the formation you're in. You could go defensive to try and have more players back to help you defensively. But if you're playing well enough, like he is now with the Bigidi cancel, what a great chance this is.
Cut back. One more. Off the line, as you were saying, it was a nice piece of skill from Carbatore. Now it's Tom back down the other end. Look at the space. Mbappe, cheeky chip, goes on his own, went for a power shot. He teased him into the chip, didn't bait for it. Instead went for a power shot for Mbappe. It doesn't come in his favour, though. Corner played short, finds Neymar. Ball rolls his way towards that area. Another shot deflected from CR7, goes for a corner. Attack after attack. The speed of this is really ramping up here in the Champions League Fan Cup. Grand finals. Messi. Not going to be shooting on that right foot, of course. In the end, loses possession. But as you were alluding to a bit earlier, Lisa, how are you looking to play this game? You said rightly, depending on what sort of player you are, some players like to go forward and, I guess, get one more and end the game. Others are confident enough, I guess, to keep possession and to really look after it.
Yeah, I feel like it depends if you feel like you're in a driving seat or if you're getting dominated. If you're getting dominated, you're just going to try and keep the ball away from them, because if they haven't got the ball, they're not going to score right. And a great chance there, but great defending. But if you think you're in a driving seat, maybe try and get that cushioner, you could say it, get that extra goal to definitely see out the win. But for me, he's obviously had a couple of opportunities since going 2-1 up. So for me, I'd carry on the way I'm playing, try and get that extra goal, because if you get it, it's definitely game, set and match. But for Tom, on the other hand, he's got to obviously pause it. We see it here. You've got to maybe make a couple of changes. Also, maybe formation change to more of an attacking formation, or just go constant pressure. But you don't want to do that until a little bit later, maybe he's 81st minute. Press off the possession lots you could potentially do, but you know, your players end up running at the players, and there's lots of gaps in behind. So you don't really want to do that until you necessarily have to, and you know the game's out of your hands. You just got to go for it at that stage. But for now, I feel like keep it as it is. 75th minute, 80th minute, you got to think about going press off the possession loss, constant pressure, because otherwise you're out. And that chance of going to Sweden, obviously, you still potentially can get it in that third spot, but you're going to want to do it now. You don't want to have to rely on that third spot.
He thought about bringing on Di Natale for a split second there, didn't he? Jeremy Doku comes on the flip side for Carbatore. Foot birthday item of Rennes. Will certainly inject some pace into his right side of the attack. Remember, this is for a grand final spot. You win this, you are on the way to the eChampions League grand final and the grand finals itself in Stockholm next month. Bellingham might fancy this from distance. Interchanges again. He's fresh off the bench, the future star of Borussia Dortmund. Bellingham still, twinkle toes. Wow!
What a goal that was. It was interesting, actually, because obviously he had an opportunity on the edge of the box, which you thought he was obviously potentially going to shoot that, but he didn't. He shot cancelled, twist and turned on inside the box, and what a finish that was. And Tom's going to be raring to go and try and get the next one here to potentially see himself into the final, which for me, a little bit against the run of play. but having that Marcelo in the midfield really does help. And we're seeing that here.
Bellingham, Messi, chance, goal! How the tables have turned all of a sudden. He went for the game, he made impressive changes, and it's come back in his favour. Tom Zoa of England and the United Kingdom. It might just be on his way to Sweden next month for a trip of a lifetime. It's into a 5 at the back now. He's going to be hard to beat, and it's going to become, in the nicest way, really, really difficult for Carbatore to try and break his opponent down.
Yeah, especially with how good he is defensively in the first place. When you're at 5 at the back, it's just literally like a brick wall. You're not able to get through it unless you do something spectacular, like we sort of saw his opponent do against him with the Sombrero flick. It's got to be something spectacular. You're not going to break it down. And we see him obviously go to this last game when he was in a winning position and he wasn't able to score. He did obviously have that opportunity that Mbappe unfortunately did miss. But to be honest with you, against the run of play, obviously a great pass into Messi, and obviously he's going to finesse it on his left foot and put it in the back of the net there. And what a finish it was. It'd be interesting obviously to see what Carbatore does go into to try and beat him, maybe a 4-2-4, 4-2-2, 4-1, 2-1-2. It just depends. Obviously, we're going to have to see a constant pressure coming in, because if he doesn't, there's a chance that he is going to be sailing out of the competition, which would be unfortunate. I feel like he's probably played better in this game. 16 years of age as well. Did the pressure get to him maybe a little bit of being in a winning position? Who knows? But what a great play it is there from Tom.
Well, here we go then. It's going to be a nervy and very exciting last 10 minutes. Carbatore, the youngest player that was in this competition, 16 years of age, in a dominant qualification run. He didn't lose a single game in the Swiss rounds. Might be on his way, unfortunately, into a third-place game. Jadon Sancho on his own. And from 1-0 down in the series, after an extra-time defeat, Tom Zoa, a player that is so experienced of PlayStation tournaments, he has been grinding, and I mean grinding away over the last few months. An up-and-coming FIFA Pro player that maybe needed this as that little pedestal, that little foot up, to say maybe, just maybe, I'm good enough to compete with the best players in the world. I think he's on his way to a grand final, Lisa. Maybe in style if he can find one more goal. Oh, he can.
And another great goal there as well. Obviously, we see the player lock over and over again that he's able to use. He did that for the first Sancho goal to make him, his opponent, obviously, in Carbatore, think that he was going to pass it. He didn't, and he obviously put it into the back of the net with Sancho, foot birthday, 5-star, 5-star. This time, another player lock gets, obviously, Sancho into the position, and he puts it into the back of the net. It's just really, really well worked from him, sorry. And Carbatore isn't able to get anywhere near him at this stage of the game. And a great chance, but that is the reason why you have Van der Sar in goal. In my opinion, one of the best goalkeepers in the game. Every time I'm against him, I literally cannot score. You know, he makes himself big in one-on-one situations, and just, if you shoot from anywhere, it's not going to go in my opinion. But, I mean, what a great play it's been from Tom, and I'm sure the people watching are loving it from him. He's just an attacking player. He doesn't waste time. He just tries and gets more and more and more, and we're seeing that here with a great player lock into Ronaldo.
I mean, look at the team. He's got to look at the sort of tools he's got to drive him towards a grand final. He is on his way to Sweden. We must confirm that, by the way. A top 2 finish is guaranteed. He's in the grand final. That will be coming up a little bit later on today here in the eChampions League final. But a massive congratulations just for getting to the top 2. He's got the hospitality package, a trip of a lifetime to Sweden next month to the eChampions League finals to watch as a spectator, and also €1,000. Lisa, talk me through the highlights of that game.
So yeah, obviously Carbatore started off really well. A great pass there, and obviously a great finish from Ronaldo. And Carbatore actually carried on here with a great chance there, but a great block from Tom, and then ended up getting the rebound. Fortunate, but this is the goal we got to talk about. I mean, he does a player lock. He thinks he's going to pass it. He doesn't. He just sprints with it. Great ball roll around the goalkeeper, and what a finish that was. And here we go again. Carbatore, a great through ball, and great goalkeeper move from Tom there to stop that. And then Tom on the flip side gets a great opportunity bringing on Bellingham Jude. Here, shot cancels, twists and turns on the edge of the box, gets the sprint boost in, and Green Time finishes it into the back of the net. And again, from Tom, straight off the back, a straight pass into Messi, and a great finish into the back of the net. And it carried on going. Obviously, Carbatore had to send players forward, and he had a lot of space in behind. And Sancho is able to pull it into the back of the net there. A great opportunity here, puts it into the back stick, and then Sancho, he's very tiny, but he's able to get himself onto the end of that, and a great win there for Tom.
Yeah, and just on that as well, Lisa, very brief. There was moments in that game where, I mean, Tom could have easily lost his head. He went down 2-0. The second goal he conceded wasn't too pretty, but he scored, and he made big decisions in that game. He took a shot of a weak foot of Messi. It's still a 4-star weak foot. He's still very good. And just some of the goals he scored with Jadon Sancho was brave from him. That is the bracket right now. Tom's in the grand final. He's also booked himself a ticket, as we said, towards that all-important eChampions League grand finals. ACX20 takes on Dennis Menace. 0-1 now in the next game. We have got a prediction live on the Twitch chat right now. Let's hear from you. Drop your predictions in the Twitch chat. Let us know which way you think this is going to be going, because it's our next semi-final. Two players we haven't seen on stream as of yet, Lisa. One's a German player, one's a Dutch player. One of those only can be finding their way into the grand final today.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be interesting to see how they both play. Obviously, our first game that we saw was Tom, and we saw that he was dominant in that game, and then we was able to see him in the next game. But we haven't seen any of these two players. It'll be interesting to see who does come out on top, but it'll be a tough game.
Yeah, let's have a look at both these players. This is Nick Graining, 21 years of age, of Germany. ACX20 is his gamer tag. This is the tournament run that he's been on up to this stage. Again, all the players that got here have been on impressive runs. Look at that one. 18 wins. That is including Swiss rounds in qualification that probably took place back in March, February time. He was one of the 16 that made it through to tonight's bracket. He's also won his round of 16 game and, more importantly, his quarterfinal. That is his team, Lisa. Talk me through it.
And what a team that is. Obviously, no loans in his team as well. So this is a team that he's used week in, week out. So he's used to it. He's got that team of the year, Messi. He has Pele, Vinicius Jr., obviously, on the wing, that headliner version. Firmino, who's a great player to use defensively, and he can also score goals for you. He's got that in-form 94 Mbappe. We've seen so many different versions of him. He's 93 in form. We've seen, obviously, his team of the year, but he has gone with the 94 version of him. We've got Marcelo again on the flip side for him. Obviously, we saw Tom had him last game, and we've got, obviously, the team of the years across the back with Diaz, Cancelo, Marquinhos, who's the first time we've actually seen him because we've seen a lot of Varane instead. Then we have that Hakimi, and this time we have the better version of Van der Sar, because last game we obviously saw the 89 version of him. So I'm sure he's going to make a lot of saves in this game as well.
Yeah, on the flip side, let's have a look at his opponent. He goes by Dennis Menace 0-1. It's Dennis Westerduin, 20 years of age, from the Netherlands, the only Netherlands/Dutch player that's made it into the top 16. This has been his bracket run. He has lost games in qualification, and he has lost games across the best of 3 format. But this is his run, 82% win rate, 17 games played. Lisa, talk me through his FIFA Ultimate Team.
Yeah, well, obviously this time we do see loans in his team. We do obviously have that prime R9. We have Cantona on loan. We have that Nunes at left back, who's a great addition, that foot birthday. He can play on that left mid, left wing back as such if you're playing that 3 at the back. He's got loan team of the year Mbappe, Vieira, Messi, obviously the team of the year version this time. We're going to be seeing a lot of finesse shots from outside the box. We've got Zanetti, Maldini, Marquinhos as well, so we actually ain't seen any Varanes in this team. And then we've got that team of the year Donnarumma as well, which is very interesting to see him. I know when I last used him, he wasn't too great for me, but obviously depending on your styles and who you prefer, and obviously in terms of links as well for your team, he needs him to link to that Marquinhos.
Yeah, well, I was just doing a bit of research coming into these games, Lee. So I found ACX's Twitter. His bio is literally a wannabe German FIFA Pro player. If he wins this tournament, he'll certainly won't be a wannabe player. He'll probably be on his way to being a FIFA Pro player. He would book a trip to the Champions League final next month, later in May. He'll also bag himself €1,000. If he wins the final today, he'll get €2,500 and a PlayStation 5 in the process. He's up against a player that does play for an esports team, though. Dennis Menace, the Dutch player, does play for LLC Esports, which goes to show that, you know, this might not be just a random player, Lisa. He's got experience of playing in regular tournaments, grinding away in the elite division, and just sort of getting those regular reps in against good FIFA players.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure he's going to be probably the favourite coming into this game, especially being signed to an org and playing against the best of the best players in rivals, like you mentioned. On the other side, he's got something to prove going into this game. He wants to get signed to an org. He wants to show people that he is at the level that he can be, and I'm sure for him, probably more nerves come into this. Obviously, he's got something to prove as well, whereas on the flip side, Dennis doesn't really have anything to prove. Obviously, he wants to win for his org and for himself as well, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of goals in this game.
And just quickly on the team front, who do you think's got the better team? I mean, Dennis's team was pretty mental. R9 features for the first time across all of our games today, Lisa.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Dennis. That R9 for me is one of the best players in the game, and obviously that's why his Moments version was at 15 million. Obviously he's got the Prime version, but he's such a great card. Obviously, you know, he can be unpredictable. You can use his left, you can use his right. he's just a great striker to have in the game. And I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of goals flying in from him.
Yeah, and before people might be asking in the comments, you can use loan players here in this tournament, hence why you're seeing so many good Team of the Year items and icons squeezed into these teams. This is our second semi-final. As we said, winner of this will go through to the grand final. Will guarantee themselves a trip to Sweden, a trip of a lifetime, and, more importantly, some serious prize money along the way. Here we go, then we're underway for the first of 3 games. And it will be. Dennis Menace from right to left in the white strip. Keep an eye out for his R9. ACX 20 from left to right. Very different. Teams both of these two have, but they're very icon and Team of the Year heavy. Who will have the first laugh and the first break through in this game? Lam in a CDM role, believe it or not, for Dennis Menace. He certainly can play a role in that team. It's Mendes of PSG, the young and upcoming star of the future. Vieira finds Messi. Is there a cutback available? Dennis Menace looking for the cutback, looking for R9. It's only taken him 8 minutes on the clock, Lisa. And Ronaldo Nazario has announced himself to the FIFA 22 eChampions League Fan Cup.
Yeah, and what a play that was, obviously passing it down the wing into Messi, and he was just waiting and waiting. Another chance here with Ronaldo.
Oh, ball roll. R9, 2! 2 in 11 minutes! He's on a hat-trick in 15!
He didn't even let me get to describe his last goal before he scored another one. But yeah, the last goal, obviously, a great cutback into Ronaldo. And you get in Ronaldo in and around them positions, he's going to be scoring. And then another chance for Ronaldo, and obviously around a keeper. And he's going to be getting goals when he does that. But, I mean, what a great start. Could you say nerves getting on the side of ACX? Maybe. But, I mean, when you have Ronaldo in your team, he's going to be scoring goals if you let him in them positions, and he did well there.
R9 showing exactly why he is the danger man. He could be on for a hat-trick, tries to Elastico his way around the corner that time. No way round. Oh, yeah, there is. Ball falls back. R9 grabs it, says thank you very much. 3-0. We are seeing one hell of a scoreline from this Dutch wonder kid at the moment. And Ronaldo Nazario is explaining to everybody that's watching right now from around the world why he is in the team, why he is so good.
And that was why he's using teams. Obviously, it was kind of a mistake in a way. He could have cleared it. And a great chance here. And almost went in. And a great sort of snapshot that you wouldn't expect most people to do. But it almost went in. However, you know, I mean, it was a mistake in a way. And obviously, a gift, you could say. But, I mean, when you get Ronaldo in them positions, like I mentioned, he's going to be scoring 5-star, 5-star. You could be unpredictable. 97 pace, 95 shooting, 96 volleys, 98 finishing, and 90 long shot, sorry. So, I mean, when you get him in them positions, even around the box, even on the edge of the box, you can't be letting him get on either his feet or it's going to go in the back of the net.
Ronaldo for 4, surely not, surely not. 4-0, 22 minutes on the clock. I mean, he doesn't know what to do. He's paused the game, I think, just to have a breather if all, Lisa. 4-0 down. What are you thinking? What do you do?
I mean, for me, I'd be a little bit nervous / worried. You're currently 4-0 down. Obviously, it could be like a pause just to take a break, take a breather, sort of think to yourself, what am I going to do? It's very interesting, obviously, to see him using Lam in the midfield for Dennis. But he obviously has got quite a few assists in this game so far. But it's hard to actually just stop Ronaldo, especially with it being the prime version of him. You mentioned, obviously, him having good pace, good dribbling, good agility, good shot power, 93 shot power. So get him in and around the box, he's going to be firing into the back of the net, and especially if you green him as well. But for ACX here, he's just got to sort of try to stay composed, calm, not concede too many more goals, because it could be looking like a Tom score at this rate with how many goals Dennis is scoring. He just looks dominant going forward defensively. He's player twitching. We ain't really seeing too many player locking, but he does look very promising in this game.
Just a goal, if anything, for ACX to give him a bit of a confidence boost. He did get here via a number of great performances. And he has to remember that. He was in a handful of good games early today. Eric Cantona looking for another one. Big tackle, Ruben Diaz. It's brave. One thing that both of these two did have, though, Lisa, is that they both lost games in the best of three. ACX lost his first game, 4-3 to Rafa, then bounced back, winning 5-2 and 5-4. On the flip side for Dennis, he also lost the game. He won his first game. Very narrow, I say very narrowly, won by 7-2 in the first game. Then lost the second one. Pele timed it green, game on. 31 minutes played here, it's a goal back. Then Dennis lost his second game 2-1, then just scraped a really tight and narrow win in the third game, 1-0. So these players aren't unbreakable. They have had to go the long way around qualifiers, especially in their quarter-final games.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, he'll have a bit of confidence, obviously scoring over Pele, green time in it as well, flying into the back of the net. But it just shows that even if AC does lose this game, he can still beat him because he is beatable. He did lose his, like you mentioned, his game in the quarterfinals to get to this stage. So it is possible.
R9 cuts back inside. Great save, Van der Sar. Building from the corner. Important thing is that he has got a goal back. He has been able to show that he's an unbreakable. Building again. Lam finds Vieira. Just working the pitch as best as he can, taking time out the remaining of this first 45 minutes. It's Dennis the Menace. I don't know why I keep putting dirt in it. It's just habit. Probably a TV show if you're from the UK. Dennis Menace 0-1. Leads by 4-1. The Dutch wonder kid, you may as well call him. Paul's cued by both of these two players. They're only a minute away from half-time. I'm sure they can make the change they want to make there. Could he feed through R9? Pulls it back. That's half-time here. And what a half it's been. We have not been short of goals, have we? At all in this eChampions League Fan Cup matches. From quarter-final to semi-finals, we've had 5 goals in 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's very interesting to actually see Lam in the side of Dennis. He's not really meta as such. He's not really what players use. Obviously, we've seen the likes of Jude Bellingham, Hullet. We've seen Marcelo obviously come in, and he's actually in both of these teams. But it's interesting to see him in. Obviously, he has got that 94 balance, 96 reactions, 96 composure, and 92 ball control. But he's actually played really well for Dennis in terms of he's got a couple of assists. He's winning the balls for him. So I feel like he's a great addition to his team. But it's just very interesting to see him in his team. He's only 700,000 coins, and he's so cheap, and he actually looks really good for him. We're seeing Vieira next to him as well, so it's a great partnership for them two.
First time I've really seen Lam play in a centre-mid role. Obviously normally a full-back by trade, Lisa, but he certainly can offer you maybe what you want as a CDM.
Yeah, he can as well. Obviously, like I mentioned, he's also got 98 slide tackle, 97 stamina, 96 defending awareness. So he's got that defensive attributes for you. I assume in his centre-mid roles in terms of having Vieira and Lam. Lam's more of the defensive player, Vieira going forward, as we can see here, and Lam's just next to him, just covering and giving him the outlet going forward. And he's doing really well doing it as well. You can see him just them two passing to each other just to try and find some space, find some gaps, but great defending from AC.
Mbappe. Back to Messi from distance. Watch out for those. We've seen them fly into the back of the net before.
Great chance he had there as well with that finesse shot. It's green time as well, so you could argue that it could have potentially gone in, but Donnarumma stood tall and it was easily caught by him. And I feel like he's playing a lot better this half. AC's having the opportunities. Marcelo getting in and around the box. We saw a player lock earlier as well. Confidence is coming. But unfortunately there, obviously, looked like maybe potentially a red time shot, or it was just the arrow above, but it definitely wasn't a great shot nonetheless, whether it was red timed or not. But I feel like he's getting a lot more opportunities in this half, maybe confidence is coming in since he's scored, but he's still got a mountain to climb. Maybe we might see potentially him going press after possession loss, constant pressure. But if he does, it gaps him behind and he can potentially concede more goals. But at this stage, it doesn't really matter if you concede more. No one's going to remember you losing 8 goals. You just got to go for it. If you go for it and you score a couple of goals, there's a chance that you come back into the game.
Oh, wow, what a touch, by the way. What a touch, Mbappe. What a touch. Even better save.
Yeah, what a save
really
that was.
Nice touch.
Yeah, what a save that was. You can actually argue that potentially maybe a ball roll there around the goalkeeper to see him definitely get a goal, obviously an open goal if he does do that, but I feel like maybe he rushed a little bit, not realising he was going to get into that position. Obviously it was a great touch like you mentioned, but yeah, he'd have been a little bit hard done by not to score there.
Messi. Back to Mbappe. It's better from AC10. He sort of found his footing in the game a little bit. Mbappe cut back, surely, goal, no! Did not know much about it, still is alive. Neymar trying his best to work around this box where there isn't much room. Really good. Falls down. Gift. No, he's put it off target.
Wow. Wow. I mean, in that position, obviously he's doing great skill moves in and around the box, and it falls to him in that position, what, 7-8 yards into the box, and yeah, it just goes wide. You shouldn't really expect that from Neymar as well. It's very unfortunate. I feel like he probably feels a little bit hard done by, especially missing the opportunity there where he could have ball around the keeper, which could have been 4-2, and if he just scored that, it would have been 4-3, and it would have been game on, to be honest with you. But it's been a little bit fortunate, you could say, Dennis, with the opportunities that his opponents had in AC, but I feel like he's dominant. He's being dominant at the moment, AC, and if he would have saw that from the start of the game, could you potentially have been a completely different game? Yeah, I feel like it could have been.
I think he's just paused the game, Lisa, to probably sub off Neymar after that disaster class from the PSG winger. Did so well to create the original chance. Unfortunately, just slid that one wide into the box. It'll go to Pele. He's defended well, just about. Neymar again. That's 2 from 2. I mean, I rate the creativeness. It wouldn't surprise if Neymar did get pulled off
Dropped.
now. Or if not, at least a tactical change. With about 22 minutes left to play. But after such a good start from Dennis Menace, it has been so much better from GCX in this last 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, maybe he's changed something. I'm not too sure if he has changed formation, but obviously we've seen him create a lot more opportunities, which, to be honest with you, I feel like he's deserved a couple of goals this half, but it's been quite unfortunate. And definitely, if that was me, Neymar would be on the bench after them 2 misses, but he hasn't. He is a great player going forward, and obviously with the 5-star skill moves, but yeah, he has to be scoring them 2 opportunities, or at least one of them.
Mbappe, Messi, right boot, he backed it, to be fair to him. Not many players will often do that. Needs 3 goals. The time is not on his side at the moment. Lovely ball round the corner, R9 looking to make it. Another goal on his tally. I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo now on the pitch. Falls kindly, Lahm, one more, or surely a tap in! There you go. Lahm or Vieira. The unlikeliness of goal scorers do well to be in the right position. It's a 4-goal cushion. I think we can say that is 1 point on the board to Dennis Menace, 0-1, Lisa. And he will be on his way to the Champions League final if he can keep this mood and this esque performance moving into the next game.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite fortunate to obviously fall back to him there. You could say a mistake as well from AC, but he has obviously changed it to either press after possession or constant pressure. Obviously, I couldn't work it out with it being in a different language, but we've definitely seen him trying to send everyone forward, but obviously when that happens, there's gaps in behind, as we see here, where there's no one back and potential chance, maybe offside.
Just on is Cristiano Ronaldo. Ball roll. Does not make it that time. Luckily, he's got a 4-goal cushion he can fall back on. Jorginho off the bench just to add his impact into the game. On a plate to Ronaldo. Great save. And the Sar again. At this point, I think we're just going to be watching the clock tick down. And it comes back to that start in the game, Lisa. A really big first, 11 minutes? He bagged 2 goals with R9. Makes it another one with Vieira, who's just on. So Vieira's on for a hat-trick, by the way.
Yeah, obviously I did mention that Vieira, out of the 2 midfielders that he's got, will be his midfielder that goes forward. Obviously, Lahm being the most, I guess, the more defensive player out of the 2. Obviously, Vieira is good defensively, but you sort of need him for going forward as well. And as we saw there, with potential 2 goals and a great finesse. and obviously green times that, but should potentially see that going at least on target. But Neymar hasn't been the greatest of players for AC in this game so far.
Added time of a minute. It's part one of a potential three-part story here in the Champions League Fan Cup semi-finals. And it will be 1 point on the board to the Dutch player. Dennis Menis, 0-1, will take the lead. He might be on the bench right now, but Arnaud Ronaldo had an unbelievable impact in that game. He scored 3 goals in it, and he scored 2 of them, Lisa, in the first 11 minutes, which I think was the all-important start that he needed in this game.
Yeah, exactly. Nerves obviously on in the game for both these players, but he was able to get 2 goals really early on, which definitely would have settled them. And the chances that we can see here, great pass into Messi, and he just waited and waited and waited for Ronaldo, and he got into that position and he put it into the back of the net straight again. A couple of minutes later from that, a great ball around the keeper, and then obviously slots it in to the back of the net. And another chance straight after that, 3 minutes later, and it was just a gift from Cancelo, panicking, nerves maybe for AC, but another opportunity 6 minutes later for Cantona, twist and turn into Lang. Obviously we mentioned interesting to see him, and a great ball roll there into him. And this is the chances obviously that we saw for AC, a great green time shot here, and maybe keep him moving slightly to the left, but great goal nonetheless. And gift there again, quite unfortunate obviously that it got into his own striker there, but a great finish. But to be honest with you, I feel like the scoreline doesn't really show how good AC has been. I feel like he's probably potentially could have had a couple of extra chances in that game to maybe make it 6-3, 6-4. But I feel like if he could start a little bit better than he did in that game, maybe not conceding until half-time, there's a chance that he can come back in this. Yeah,
I mean, credit where it's due. I mean, what are you doing when you're 4-0 down in the game of FIFA? 22 minutes in the biggest game he would have played up to this point in the tournament. This is the game that will guarantee you good cash, €1,000 if you win this game. You'll get that hospitality package, and you'll be in the grand final for a chance to double your cash and get a PlayStation 5. How do you react? Got 4-0 down. I think he reacted quite well.
Yeah, I think he did. Obviously, you saw him do a couple of pauses, which is good to do mentally as well. You just got to try and pause, stay calm, try and work out how to actually beat him. Maybe talk to a coach, depending on if he has one, or a friend that can sort of steer him in the right direction. And he did come back quite well. Obviously, he scored straight off with Pele there. And I feel like he had the better chances as well, to be honest with you. I feel like he got quite unfortunate. Obviously, Neymar missing, in my opinion, 3 opportunities that he should have scored, which should have made the game a lot closer. But I think like he was a little bit quite unfortunate. So I think going into the next game, if he can get that early goal, set the nerves, he could potentially come back, because obviously we have, as mentioned before, he did actually end up losing the game, did Dennis, in the last set of quarterfinal games, so he is beatable.
Yeah, he is beatable. If we can see the bracket for just a split second before this second game, just to have a look at and explain the story of who is in the grand final waiting, and the journey that both of these two players have been on in the quarterfinal bracket onwards. They've been playing since the round of 16 earlier today. This is the run they've been on, and this is the games they've had to play. They're both used to playing 3 games, Lee, so they've both been in best-of-3 situations before where they've had to go to a third game. They both have lost games. They aren't perfect FIFA players, and this is who's waiting for them in the grand final. For either player that does win this game, they've got a test in the final, a really big test, because the player there is a goal machine. He scored 15 goals in his quarter-final, 15 of them.
That is a lot of goals that he scored, and I feel like he's definitely going to be a hard competitor in that final. But to get there, they have to win this next game. So I feel like it's going to be a tough game for them in the next one, obviously. I feel like for AC, he needs to try and get that first goal. Defensively, he needs to be a little bit better, not to concede early, because R9 in and around that box, he's going to be scoring.
I mean, it's the first time we've seen Ronaldo Nazário, isn't it, in this eChampions League final format. Don't, ever question how good R9 is on the pitch, whether it's his baby, his mid, his prime icon moment. You are looking at the prime 96 variant of his item in game. He is an absolute animal. He bagged 4 goals in the first game. We're back on the way for the second one now. It will be Dennis Menis from left to right in this one. And on the flip side, it will be AC20, the German, who needs to win this game to take it to a third and final matchup in the best-of-3. With it all to do here, I think what's key for him, Lisa, is he scores the first goal and really takes the game to Dennis. Which might not be possible at this moment in time. It's R9 again! It's deja vu! It's like I've cursed him!
Exactly. I feel like you might be the commentator's curse there, to be honest with you. But, I mean, to be honest with you, for me, a terrible offside trap, and ended up gifting him a goal on the way. And like we mentioned, R9 in and around that position, he's going to be scoring, and it's just unfortunate. The offside trap either works or it doesn't and stops a goal, and there it didn't. And he gifted a goal, in my opinion, but it's not the start that he wanted. It definitely wasn't. Now he's got to try and win back a goal really early in this game, because if he concedes again, I feel like it's going to be over for him. But we're seeing obviously some changes here early on. Maybe he's not happy with the way he's playing, or players on the pitch. We actually do see Neymar on the bench this time. Oh no, he actually brings him on. Interesting.
A sub within 8 minutes. I mean, did Neymar start the last game, or did he come on as a sub?
I'm not actually too sure, but it's very interesting that he's taken off Vinicius Jr. after the way Neymar did play last game, especially with the opportunities that he actually did have with him and he's missed. So for me, I'd be starting Vinicius Jr. He's obviously a great card to use as well. He's very pacey. Maybe not as good finishing as Neymar, but for me, I feel like you've got to use him a little bit longer. Neymar last game wasn't the greatest, so for me personally, I know I wouldn't be bringing him on this early on. I feel like it's also a waste of a sub as well, realistically, because... And it's interesting to see him actually bringing Marcelo off for him. We've seen Marcelo been a great asset to everyone's team, but it's very interesting to see that.
Well, it's brave in some ways, but it's also a waste of a handful of substitutions, really, isn't it, this early into a game? But he has to make a call. We could be 2-0 down. Cantona blocked in his tracks there by the defender for AC20. I mean, it's either going to work for him, or it'll be something that will come through a little bit later on tonight. Mbappe on the hunt for AC12, trying to find a way back into the tie. Messi does get bundled off the ball. Cantona able to win it and drive forward via R9, who opened up his account after just 4.5 minutes here in this second match in the best of three. We have to remind you, winner of this will go into tonight's grand final, will also guarantee themselves €1,000 on top of the 250 or more they've already won for qualifying for tonight's final. Messi finds Cantona, who's not always the most popular of icon choice. He featured heavily in a recent tournament that we both commentated on, the Premier League, where a handful of players did use the icon. He offers you quite a tall and big frame, does Cantona.
Yeah, I feel like it's very interesting to see him in and amongst the icons being used. In my opinion, not obviously the best in terms of you having the likes of R9. You've also obviously got Hullet in the midfielder option, and you've also obviously got Pele. So it's very interesting to obviously see him being used over the likes of them. I know obviously normal restrictions, you're only allowed 2 icons if you want them. Obviously he's got 5-star, 4-star. He's got good pace, good shooting, and obviously good passing. So I feel like overall he's a great card to use, but it's just interesting to see him being used. Obviously he is using Lam as well, which was interesting to see him in the team, but he's done really well for him as well.
I mean, especially that loans are allowed in this format. You could have had pretty much anyone in that team. Obviously chemistry provided. Jude Bellingham, future stars, maybe N'Golo Kante, team of the year. Just to name a few. Neymar, lovely little dummy there. Pulls away from his man. He just came onto the pitch. For Vinicius Jr. Firmino back to Messi. Looking for the perfect pass. Messi still. It's twinkle toes in the box from the Argentine. Pele, what a save from Donnarumma, who's offside anyway. But still a great save from the PSG goalkeeper.
Yeah, it was a great opportunity there for him. But to be honest with you, it was interesting that he passed that. I mean, in that position there with Messi, you should be shooting it. But he doesn't. He opts to the pass, and obviously in an offside position, very unfortunate. But for me, in that position, get Messi on that left foot, ping it. Even in the right foot in that position, he should be scoring with his 4-star weak foot. So very interesting from him. But I guess he wants to try and make it a certainty of a goal, but just unfortunate that he was offside.
Pele. Reverse Elastico, no time around that. Player on that opportunity. At least what you can say, though, for AC20. He's not 4-0 down in 22 minutes as he was last game. What a ball. It's into R9's feet again. 20/20 vision, by the way. What a ball from Mbappe.
Yeah, exactly. What a ball that was. And we mentioned as well, obviously, R9 getting in and around the box, getting into them positions. And when it falls to him there, he's going to be putting it in the back of the net. And it was a great pass, great vision, like you mentioned. And I know, certainly for me, I wouldn't have been putting that ball across the box there, and that was not the greatest of challenges there. But yeah, I mean, great goal, 2-0 up. I feel like for me, it's a cert that he goes into the final now, but anything is possible.
Mbappe, great save. It's easy picking for Messi. Bigger tackle from João Cancelo at the back. That could have been curtains, as you said there, Lisa. It's a long and it's a very high ball over the top. Marquinhos will defend it. It's the first time we've seen Marquinhos get the back in. I mean, obviously the obvious part in that is Donnarumma being in the team, but his team of the year item is still justified and is still a very good player in game.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see him in the team. Like you mentioned, obviously it's all about chemistry as well, with him having that Donnarumma in goal. But for me, I prefer to have an icon goalkeeper, but it depends, obviously, the coins that he's got, and a great whip in here to his attacker, but Ruben Diaz defending really well. But yeah, it's interesting to see. Obviously, both of these players don't actually have Varane, and we've seen him literally every single game so far, apart from this one. So it's interesting to see him used, but I mean, the reason why you use Marquinhos is his 99 jumping, 92 stamina, 91 aggression. He's able to win in the box, in and around the box, and that's what you need in a defender. If they're able to put a foot in, last-ditch challenge to win the ball for you, that's why you need him.
Fielding again. Nicely, half-time. We're pretty much there, aren't we? It's all going to play out at the moment for Dennis Menis, 0-1 of the Netherlands. He's up by 2-0 at this moment in time. We are looking at what can happen to try and disrupt and change that at the moment. If you were in this position, Lisa, you're 2-0 down, 45 minutes left to play. As you rightly said a few times in commentary, you haven't really got much to lose, have you? You've got two options. Go for the game and say, you know what, I went for it. I might lose 4 or 5-1, or I might get a couple of goals. There might be more than a consolation. Or you sit there and say, you know what, I'll just lose and I won't really go for the game.
Yeah, I feel like if I was in this position, I wouldn't straight away go press after possession loss because it leaves gaps in behind. But you've got to try and get the next goal, potentially change formation to more of an attacking formation, because obviously something isn't working if you're 2 goals down. Obviously, we haven't even seen him have a shot on goal yet, so definitely something isn't working, especially as he did score a goal last game. So he's got to think to himself, I can actually score. So he's got to change something. I mean, a great opportunity here, potentially, but not the greatest of shots. But like I mentioned, yeah, he definitely... Massive... Interesting to see him go back there after winning it so high up, but potential here... Nah, it's very unfortunate. I don't know why he went back there after winning it with Neymar. Potentially could have shot, but not playing the greatest at the moment, it seems.
Still on the hunt, isn't he? R9, cheeky chip, that's sorting the wounds. That is what R9 can do. You can make all the changes you want to your team, tactics, formation, players, whatever you want. But no matter what item comes into this game, no matter what promo comes into FIFA, you can't rebuild, you can't build a player like that. R9, once again, showcases to the world why he has been one of the most dominant figures on FIFA since he was introduced into the game all those years ago.
I mean, what a player he is, and a massive mistake again. I feel like AC had a couple of opportunities even before that opportunity, and I think pretty sure he did another offside trap and it didn't work out and ended up conceding with a chip, but potential for chance maybe with Pele.
Pele. Back to Mbappe, scoop turn, nice. There is a goal back, that goes into a pause now. It will cue a change and also will create a little bit of hope. Always seems like a second half player at times, does the German pro here. However,
yeah, I mean,
it's not him that's actually looking to make the change. This is his POV we're watching right now. It's Dennis Menis that wanted to make the change, believe it or not. And it seems like it's fresh legs for him. Who's come onto the pitch? Let's have a little look. Cordoba for Messi. And Jorginho for Cantona. Was it a triple change or just the 2? It was just the 2. So he brings in the defender and a new midfielder there, just to freshen up in the midfield. That's team of the year, Jorginho, no doubt. One of the most in-game stat players around. Mbappe tries his best to find a way through. What do you make of those changes?
Yeah, for me, it looks like he's going more defensive as such. Maybe 5 at the back, potentially just wanting to bring on more midfielders and defenders to sort of potentially see him win this game, because he did just concede and obviously doesn't want to concede again because it makes it much of a tighter game. He can go constant pressure and he'd be on the back foot. So that's the reason why he's done that. But interesting to see he's done it so early, considering you know, he still can potentially get the next goal and win this game even more.
Mbappe could be through to ruin it all, though. Clever touch. Couldn't get past Van der Sar, though. Mbappe driving forward. Doesn't need anyone around him. Little ball roll scoop turn reverse elastico, sorry. Ball forwards back to Pele. Donnarumma easy pickings again on the flip side. 24 minutes left to play. At the moment, it will be a grand final between England and the Netherlands, and Tom Zoa and Dennis_Menace battling out for a chance to be called the eChampions League Fan Cup winner for the FIFA 22 year. Ronaldo. Taking more minutes out of the game. This is, I think, where the approach will change of Dennis. He, no doubt, would love to score another goal. But for being completely honest, Lisa, he doesn't need to score another goal.
Yeah, obviously, I feel like if he does score another goal, it's definitely game, set, and match. But he's just got to try and keep the ball. I know it's obviously not what the viewers want to see, but when you're in this position and you need to win to get to the next round, to the final, to win a bit more money, to get that guaranteed ticket to Sweden next month, this is what players do. You know, if you don't have the ball, you're not going to score.
If he scores now, perfect timing. He's got a pause cued as ACX. Neymar can't get past Maldini. I mean, that's not an easy task by anyone. And for anyone. Into the pause we shall go. Final 15 left to play here in our second semi-final. It said the winner goes into the grand final tonight. Will guarantee themselves the hospitality package and that all-important trip to the eChampions League Grand Finals. As a spectator, a trip of a lifetime to be around some of the best FIFA players of recent times. Tex, Nicholas, Matthias Bonanno, just to name a few that will be there come the end of May, battling out in their own tournament for $75,000. Some serious stakes of money on the line. It looks again as if we're waiting on the POV of Dennis Menace, 0-1. You're winning in a position like this 3-1, Lee. So you sitting on a 5 at the back? Are you keeping it the same?
I feel like for me, I'd be keeping it the same because it's obviously working for you. Depending on if you feel like you're on the back foot, maybe go 5 at the back to make sure you've got them extra players back to help you defend. But I feel like he's sort of playing the better. So for me, I just keep it as it is. No point changing it if you're playing well.
Qatari of all players comes on. It's another pause cued again by Dennis_Menace. That ball looks like it could be going out, actually, so the pauses might just happen again. Interesting that he's gone straight back into a pause. Is it something that maybe he's seen from his opponent that has questioned the tactics he's using and maybe wants to be a little bit safer?
Yeah, potentially. Obviously, you do see a lot of players checking what their opponent is playing to try and match it, or to, you know, if you're playing a 4-2-2 and it's a very attacking formation, you might want to counter it, or you might want to match it. And we see that when Tom was playing, he matched his opponents and ended up basically coming back into the game. So it just depends on the player. I feel like he seems to be giving away the ball too much as well.
Bounces aren't falling, are they? Firmino this time. Time is running out. And so is the opportunity to take this game into extra time. Pele, no way around Maldini that time. It's Maldini, Omar, Kinos at the back. Two absolute giants with unbelievable in-game stats. They're team of the year items that are being so difficult to beat. Pele, this time, Bobby Firmino, what a save, Donnarumma. That goes in, maybe game on. I think as he saved it now, that's a huge blow confidence-wise. I think that's it, Lisa, you've got to say. Or is it? Messi. Firmino, no.
Yeah, for me, I think it's definitely game, set, and match. I feel like he's giving away the ball too easily. He keeps booting it up the field. For me, if I had the ball and I'm in this position, I'm playing out from the back. I'm trying to keep the ball. I'm getting it into a position where he can't touch the ball, but he just seems to be booting up the pitch and giving him these extra opportunities where he shouldn't need to. He shouldn't need to give them to him. Try and keep the ball. Try and see the game out. He's just not doing that.
Big switch of play. We'll kick it out, and I think we can pretty much confirm that we have two names. Over 7,000 people signed up back in February through 4 different European qualifiers, and now there'll be 2 names remain. A player from the UK, a player from the Netherlands. It'll be Tom against Dennis_Menace in the eChampions League Fan Cup Finals. And that man has been the star of the show. Ronaldo Nazario, R9 will feature in that grand final. Could probably assure you, Lisa, that Tom's been watching in the background thinking, how do I stop him? Because he scored, I believe, 6 or 7 goals across the 2 legs.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he's using teams. He's a goal scorer by nature, and he's been scoring a lot of goals, but also so has Tom. So I feel like this final is going to be a lot of goals flying in. And as we see here, the replay of the goals that were scored and started off very well with Ronaldo being the man to score again, and quite short after getting another opportunity in the 33rd minute and a great pass that I wouldn't even have seen myself, and another opportunity where it was a great save from Van der Sar and great defending there from Cancelo. And second half started the same way as the first half did, with a dominant performance and a great chip there from R9. We mentioned obviously him being so good in and around the box, and we saw a cheeky little chip there. And on the other side, Pele, great into Mbappe there with a great scoop turn and a great finish, and another opportunity here. And what a save that is by Donnarumma. We mentioned that he actually hasn't been in games enough this weekend, and he's done a great save there.
Here it is then. This is your grand final for the Champions League Fan Cup. Both of these 2 players will be having a trip of a lifetime, a hospitality package of a lifetime, travelling to Stockholm, Sweden next month in the end of May. 27th of May, they'll be part of the audience in the eChampions League final. Alongside that, they've also bagged themselves €1,000. But you're thinking, why are we playing this final? Well, we're playing this final, number 1, to crown a champion. But number 2, the winner will bag themselves a PlayStation 5 and get €2,500 on top of all the money they've already won and that experience they'll have next month in May. You might be sitting there thinking, how can I get involved in incredible tournaments and opportunities like this? You can. Compete.playstation.com. Sign up today. Daily, monthly, weekly tournaments for all players at all skill levels on FIFA Ultimate Team. Get involved, sign up. What are you waiting for? Lisa, I mean, both players must be buzzing. They're in a grand final. They've done the hard bit. They're both going to Sweden regardless. They're going to meet each other. They're going to be talking about the game they're about to play in about a month's time.
Yeah, exactly. It's a massive game as well. That chance of, well, they're actually in, obviously, Sweden already, but a chance to get extra money on the line here, and obviously the bragging rights, you could say, to say that they won this tournament. So I feel like they're both going to be buzzing. Obviously, but Tom scored more goals leading up to this stage, so I feel like he'll be more in the driving seat. But Dennis is a great player, obviously signed as well, so it'll be interesting to see who wins this. And maybe he even has a coach by his side to help him out when he's not playing too well.
Yeah, well, you said the words, who will have the bragging rights? That is the question. We're going to go to a quick break now. When we get back, it's grand final time here in the eChampions League Fan Cup. It's Dennis up against Tom. We'll see you in a few minutes' time. welcome to the eChampions League Fan Cup Grand Final. We are in Grand Final time right now. My name's Brandon Smith, and I'm very delighted to be alongside Lisa Manley, who have been alongside all evening this evening. We have seen quarter-finals, semi-finals, and now all that's left is two players, Lisa. A journey that started back in February. 7,000 sign-ups, just over 2,500 eligible players bowed out in qualifiers after qualifier to make it to this stage. They've both guaranteed money. They've both guaranteed a trip of a lifetime. How excited are you for this grand final?
Yeah, I'm very excited. As you can see here, the wins for both of these, obviously, Tom has won more games. He has obviously played more. On the other side, Dennis has obviously lost less than him. So I think it's going to be an interesting matchup. I think, obviously, we've both had the privilege to watch both of these and their games so far. And I think Tom, for me, has a little edge of how many goals he's been scoring and defensively how good he is. But I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I find this really interesting as well. A little interesting fact for you. Both of these two players played in the same qualifier. Back in qualifier 4, they played in the final qualifier for the eChampions League Fan Cup. It was the most popular qualifier as well. 2,700 people signed up just for that one, with 1,209 actually competing. They both went 8-0. They avoided each other somehow. Another day, Lee, so they might have actually faced up against each other, but that goes to show just how good these two players were. They played the most busiest and competitive bracket, and now they're here in the final.
Yeah, exactly, and going both 8-0 just shows how good they really are. So going into this game, I have no clue who's going to win. I think it will be a tight game. I feel like whoever gets the first goal, normally is a pattern, whoever gets it first normally does win the game. However, I think it'll be a close one. Yeah,
well, we want you guys to get involved at home. Let us know. There's a poll that's live right now. It should have been running. If not, it may have already finished. And it has finished. It looks like there's just a Tom fan base in our Twitch and YouTube chat this evening. It's going to be top of 100% of the poll results. Let's see if they are right. I mean, if they saw his quarter-final result, Lisa, they've probably got a right to back him because he did win 8-0 and 7-2 in a best-of-3 format. He didn't need a third game. Yeah, exactly. He looks like a dominant player, obviously scoring a lot of goals as well. It just shows how confident he really is going into this game. You know, he's got player lock on lockdown, you could say. Every time he does it, he scores a goal from it or gets a massive opportunity from it. So I think going forward, he's very scary defensively. He didn't really concede too many goals in this tournament so far, so I think he's going to be really hard to break down. Yeah, he's going to be a deadly player to break down indeed. It's the Netherlands against England in this grand final. If we can have a look at the breakdown of the prizing for this tournament, as you probably are thinking, what are they playing for? What is the bonus prize of winning this grand final? Well, we have said it a few times. If you do win this final matchup, you get your hands on a PlayStation 5, which are so hard to get your hands on. I'm lucky to have one myself. But I'm sure there's people out there thinking it's an added boost to get a brand new PS5. We'll talk more about that later on today. We're going to jump into the game, but that is what you can win. A PS5, €2,500, and that trip of a lifetime to the Champions League final. Here we go then, we're underway for the grand final. It is Tom from left to right in that white strip. And it will be Dennis Menace, 0-1 from right to left. I'd probably say on paper, Lisa, the two most stacked and built FIFA Ultimate Team squads we're seeing. Yeah, obviously, we did say Tom previously in all the games that he's played has the better team. Obviously, on the flip side, Dennis has got that scary man up front that no one wants to see up front. Obviously, R9 Ronaldo, prime as well, the better version of him. Very scary. Every time he's just in and around the box, you get a chance with him, he's going to fly in the back of the net. So Tom probably is a little bit worried about him, but on the other flip side, he's got Mbappe. Oh, wow! What a start for the goal-scoring machine from England. Tom Zoa. We spoke about danger players, Lisa, and big-name players in this team. For either of these two, it's R9 on one side, it's got to be Timothy Mbappe on the other. Didn't take him long. Just 8 minutes into the grand final for the first goal to go in. Yeah, what a start from Tommy. Obviously did mention him being so good going forward, and he started off really well here with the green time shot in the back of the net. What a player he is. It's not going to last for long, though, is it? It's not going to last for long. It's an instant reply from R9. Game on. What a grand final we've got. 11 minutes in, and we're already square at 1-1. I'm sure it's going to be an entertaining game for the people watching this, because 2 goals within 11 minutes. Obviously, that was a kick-off goal, straight from kick-off, but Dennis will not care, and rightly so, obviously. R9 in that position we mentioned before. He's not going to miss from there, and another chance here. It's a 3-on-2. It's a 3-on-2 here, Lisa. Delayed it slightly. Back post available, defended well by Maldini. Comes across. to save the day. Finds Ronaldo this time. Inside to Vieira. Can Messi turn and twist away? A couple of ball rolls, finds Eric Cantona. He's actually remained quite quiet in this game, or until now maybe. Big tackle. Originally an even bigger save from Van der Sar. Will keep out the French icon from putting Dennis into the lead on the back foot. Messi in the box, waiting. Dembele on his own. Ousmane Dembele, foot fantasy item, has been incredible. Back to Ronaldo, could fall Carney once but twice. Frantic start here in the first game.
Almost a commentator's curse there. So talking about Cantona, and he almost scored. But yeah, I mean, it's an end-to-end game so far. I don't even know what way it's going to go. They're both having opportunities. If one goes down one side and doesn't end up scoring, it's going right down the other end and they're having a chance. So I think it's a close game so far, and it's interesting to see actually who will come out on top, considering the chat thinks Tom by 100%. So it's a massive vote for him, but maybe a lot of British people in the chat supporting him, UK people backing him.
Tom, aka Zoa, the game and tag he follows. He loves an online cup here in the PlayStation tournaments menus. He has featured in a handful of them. Getting in the reps within the Open Series and any opportunity there is to compete. This time, no doubt, this will be the top of the pile in terms of achievements if he was to win here today. Messi for Tom. Has to go back to Vieira. Remains patient in the build-up. Back to Messi again. Marcelo, of all people, the left-back in a centre mid-position. Ousmane Dembele, foot fantasy. Little Elastico, it's cheeky. Stopped on the ball. Little Elastico, see you later. Ousmane Dembele might be up there for one of the players of the tournament.
Yeah, and what a goal that was, obviously, in and around the box. Got Dembele in that position. Like you said, it's a great skill move to see him just get it around the keeper almost, and then obviously a great finish in the back of the net. But again, Dennis come on the other side.
Things the hand of Van der Sar. It was always an ambitious angle from that far out. Mbappe, back post. It's dangerous! Varane! I'll say Varane, it was Eric Cantona, sorry, that came so close. What a chance it was. Mbappe. Doing what he can to get around the corner. Chance at either end in this first 45 minutes. Neither players sat back and showcased any sort of nerves, have they? They've been up for this, and both have been creating a handful of chances.
Yeah, I think it's been a great game to watch so far. Obviously, both attacking really well. None of them really wasting time, and a great chance here.
Oh, Dembele. Oh, fair play. That was one of those guessing game moments there, Lisa, where the goalkeeper movement was moved. Sort of guessed the right way, slash got a bit fortunate with the defensive block, because Ousmane Dembele sort of looked like he went the other way, but then also fake shot back inside. Messi with a gift. A gift that wasn't taken or grabbed with both hands. What a chance at either end of the pitch. Ousmane Dembele, I thought he was about to have a brace, and then a golden chance for Dennis Menace with Messi there. Loads of time. Sometimes you just get too much time on the ball. Maybe that was one of them.
I feel like they both outsmarted each other in a way. Obviously, keeper movement making him change his mind, and then getting a little bit fortunate as well. But I feel like they both outsmarted each other in the way they both think. And when that happens, sometimes, you know, you could have gone for the easier option of just shooting and hoping that it wasn't safe, for instance. But yeah, it was a great opportunity, and quite fortunate for Dennis and away.
Going to wait for the second half here. Remember, it's the best of 3 format. Lam for Vieira, of all people, that does not mind getting forward in these attacks. And sometimes that works well for you because, I mean, most of the time, we can all say we've experienced it. When you're running forward with Vieira or you're running forward with a midfielder, you're always thinking you're going to offload the ball to someone else. You don't really have the guts, so to say, or many players don't, to really try forward with a midfielder that can cause damage. Sometimes, if you take that risk and you take a chance, you can break through the defensive lines, and next thing you know, you've got a one-on-one. Marcelo. Back to Vieira, Dembele. Nicely done, looking for a third goal, another goal to add onto the cushioning here of this scoreline. Marcelo is brave. It's his FUT captain in-game item that has featured in this. We are talking about different promos in FIFA Ultimate Team. Ronaldo driving forward for Dennis. Actually understandable. Has it impressed you so far of how well Tom's been able to manage R9 in this game?
Yeah, I think he's done really well defending against him. Obviously there, it was basically through on goal. Could have potentially, in my opinion, I like to do a ball or scoop when you're that close to the defender, just to get a little bit of space, but he didn't, and great defending.
That post, Ronaldo. You know, he's deadly. Chance. Cut back. Mbappe. Lam. Vieira. The only player to use that combination in the midfield. Mbappe could be through. Cut back became a bit too textbook. Last 23 minutes left to play here in the first game of our grand final here in the Champions League Fan Cup. A journey that's been going on for a few months now. First qualifier back in February. Now we're here. And the all-important grand final where we started off with 16 players at the start of play today. Messi from distance. He timed it green, did everything right there. Luckily enough, the goalkeeper movement was also good.
Yeah, it was great keeper movement there. Obviously, just sort of like finesse shot. It's not obvious when you get Mbappe in them positions that you're going to shoot. But great save, and now Dennis is able to come up the other end. It seems like he's trying to go for the perfect goal, trying to do the extra pass, and sometimes he can just shoot and have the opportunity that way, but he isn't seeming to go for it.
Final 15 minutes. Dembele, CR7! Another great save. Donnarumma proving his worth in the team. If there was ever a debate for a goalkeeper. Look no further. One more goal. Would certainly send him on his way. Right into the pause when you will go, Lisa. Talk me through this. It's changes that are being made with just 10 minutes left to play.
Yeah, we're seeing him go 5 at the back. We've seen him do this in every single game that he's winning in. Obviously, the last couple of games that we saw him play, that he went to this formation to just try and see out the game. He also is bringing on Jadon Sancho. He's a favourite item that everyone's been using recently, obviously. Them 5-star skill moves. A great addition for his card. Bellingham, Jude in the midfield as an additional, and obviously Jorginho. He's lower in his width, so he can play in a way, I guess you could say he can sort of have many opportunities in the middle of the park. For me, I feel like the earlier opportunity he had with Ronaldo, he could have gone near post because it was great keep movement and he left the sort of left side of the goal open. We're seeing another pause here though, where he's making it so his players are stay back while attacking to give him that defensive help. But it's very well worked here for Tom. Obviously, he's very good going forward, and now that he's in a winning position, he's trying to make sure that he stays in a winning position with having more extra players back. And obviously, Bellingham Jude gives him the great help in that. He's obviously a great player, very tall, got good stamina as well to help run around the pitch and create havoc for his opponent, Dennis.
You know, on the flip side, what's coming, Lisa, it's 3 changes that Dennis has made. An injection of pace, an injection of quality, if Tom can find his way through with one of these chances. He will be on his way to a positive start in this best-of-3 grand final. Nicely done, really composed is Tom. And now when he loses possession now, expect to see so many dark shirts strive forward now. Hakimi will be overlapping, the fullback on the other side will be overlapping too. Lahm, Hullet all involved, or Jorginho I should say. Come on for Hullet. Ronaldo, Cantona, Mbappe all queuing up, looking to cause danger. Defends it well, it's in his hands now really. 3 minutes left. It'll be his first win on the board. Mbappe's driving forward. There's no need to attack. He won't attack. He'll look to keep the ball. Take more minutes out the tie. Additional timer just around the corner. This is not to win the ground final, but this is to kick off the best-of-3 in the best way possible. A 2-1, narrow scoreline. It was Mbappe that kicked it off. Will there be enough time for one more chance? He'll get the ball. And every pass has to be perfect. Now look at the space Ronaldo's got to drive into. Cantona, Hakimi, Ronaldo's in there. It's a battle between Marcelo and Hakimi now. Marcelo wins it, needs to get rid of the ball, clear it out for a throw-in, and it will be a first win on the board for Tom Zoa. It's a great start for the Englishman in the grand final here. It's not done yet, Lisa, but it's a great start. And what a narrow game that was. That was anyone's game to take.
Yeah, it was a close game. Obviously, Tom taking his chances when needed. Feel like Dennis had a couple of more opportunities, but he was just going for that extra pass where sometimes it's not needed. If you just shoot, you know, there's obviously more of a chance of it going in instead of trying to fake shot it. But here were the opportunities that he had, and a great screen time shot early in the game, and a great sort of return here for Dennis, actually going down straight down the other end and scoring, twisting and turning with Cantona and getting Ronaldo into that one-on-one situation. He's not going to miss from there, and straight down the other end, 30 minutes into the game, great player lock, and Dembele in and around that position, obviously Elastico there, and a great goal. And again, this is obviously the player lock here, and I feel like if he'd gone near post there, it would have went in, but he didn't. He opted to go far post, and a great save. But what a game that was. I feel like Dennis played really well. Obviously, Tom, for me, he sort of topped it. And it was also great defending from him in the last 5-6 minutes of that game, because constant pressure, we all know when playing FUT Champs, when your opponent goes constant pressure, it's really hard to get out, and he played really well. Yeah,
I mean, also on the flip side, you know, you can't do it for too long with the stamina bars available. Sorry, but you know, you've got good quality players that it can happen with. I mean, it's going to be a really tight game. This, you look at the 2 best players out of 7,000 sign-ups that signed up here as part of the competition centre. If you do want to get involved in what's been happening here, do get involved. Compete.playstation.com. There will be some links, I'm sure, bouncing around in the YouTube and the Twitch chats to get involved. The link below us right now. Daily, monthly and weekly tournaments where you can win cash, in-game currency, and even some in-game cool avatars for players at all skill levels. So get yourselves involved. And it's good to see as well, Lee, so the players that we've got here in the eChampions League, these could be future players, future pros that we could be looking at. Who knows, maybe even a future FIFA E World Cup champion down the road.
Yeah, obviously, who knows? Obviously, we do know, obviously, Dennis is already signed, so it just shows how good these players actually are. Obviously, maybe if Tom goes on to win this, he could get a contract with a team as well. So it just shows that if you do enter these tournaments, there's a chance that you can, I guess, have FIFA as a job. And if you like playing it, why not just sign up? You never know. Even if you're not at the greatest of levels, you can improve by playing better people week in, week out. And what's better, they're all free to enter. Just try and enter, click on the link. If you lose, you lose. Just go for it, in my opinion.
Yeah, you've got to go for it. What are you waiting for? As we said, plenty of opportunities to win some cash and to really just prove yourself against your friends. I've even played in one of them, and I got to the round 2. I won't say how I got to the round 2. It was probably via a bye, thinking back to it. Or maybe I won. Probably a bye. Ultimate Team is normally the way to play in these tournaments as well. We've seen so many good teams here used today, and we've seen such a difference in the two teams here, Lisa. I mean, it feels like the Starman is R9 on one side, and the Starman... maybe does R9 take that crown? It's hard to say because the quality. I mean, CR7's been great, hasn't it? That Foot Birthday CR7 item has also been really good. Who would you say has been the star of the show to both of these two players? Ultimate Team squad, sorry.
Yeah, I feel like for Dennis, it's got to be R9. Obviously, Cantonar's been helping him, but R9's been scoring the goals. For Dennis, I feel like on the other side, for Tom, you could say Mbappe, Team of the Year. He's also had quite a lot of goals from CR7, especially with the player lock that he's been doing and getting Ronaldo in them positions to either put it on his head or whip it into the far corner. So I feel like for me, for Tom, it's got to be CR7.
Here we go, back underway. Potentially the last game of the 2022 eChampions League Fan Cup. No doubt this will be one of the biggest and the best tournaments that's run this year on the PlayStation Competition Centre in terms of FIFA 22. The sign-ups has been incredible. The support has been incredible from you guys all involved. Ball bouncing around the box here. Where is he going to end up? Nicely done. Messi. Still, it's Tom on the build-up. Messi still on the build-up. Eventually, 2 hands on it for Donnarumma. Positive start. First 7 minutes played here. Just for a split second, I didn't think R9 was on the pitch. Of course he's on the pitch, leading the way with the number 9 shirt. He's prime Ronaldo Nazario. Cantona, driving, striving forwards. Don't think he's actually scored yet so far tonight.
He's definitely been creating them for Dennis, though, but a great start here for Tom going forward. I feel like he had a couple of opportunities, really, that he could have potentially got an early goal, which obviously would have set his nerves.
Remember that Dennis _Menace must win this game if he wants to take this into a third and final game. In our grand final, Mbappe to get Tom on his way. Mbappe on his own, that's brave. But we said he was the man that's been the catalyst, the danger man, the MVP, Team of the Year Mbappe. The star of the show. It's part 2 of the film and it continues live now in front of your eyes.
Definitely a great finish there as well, which, you know, some people might not think it is, but, you know, he waited and waited and waited for him. Dennis ended up moving his keeper and he slots it in kindly to the left-hand side of the goal. But, yeah, it was great play from him, just waiting and waiting for the keeper movement, and he did that, and great finish.
Instant reply, maybe. Messi, too textbook there, tried to play one more pass back inside to Eric Cantona. Dembele, Ousmane Dembele. Don't really give him too much plaudits, actually. He's been incredible. Forgot about his involvement in the team, the fantasy item. In it goes towards the front post. It's 2-0. If it's not Mbappe scoring, it's Cristiano Ronaldo scoring as he runs away in celebration. He's also been so good today.
Yeah, I mentioned him as my MVP, the GOAT as such for Tom, and he's been doing that in every game he's played. He's been playing his corners short, whipping it into the box to Ronaldo, player lock-in if needed, and he did that superbly there. Obviously, Ronaldo was in a great position already, and he heads it into the back of the net. That's why you need him in your team. He's tall, he gives you the outlet of being able to win headers, and also he's great at shooting, so you can, if you don't have it whipped into the air, you can just put it to his feet. 5-star skill moves. Could be unpredictable with him, and he's just a great player to use, and having him alongside Dembele, who obviously isn't the tallest of players, but he's agile and he's able to dribble down the line for you and cross it into him. It's just a great connection and great partnership between them.
When I messaged Tom Zoe earlier today, just via a casual DM, just said good luck this evening. He replied saying, thank you, it's going to be tough. It might have been tough, but he's been superb of what he's been able to do. Building back post. Around the side that time. Mbappe driving. If he finds a third, I think it will be difficult, very difficult.
I mean, what a chance that was there to, in my opinion, if he scored, it'd have been game, set and match, but it wasn't to be, in my opinion, not the greatest of shots. However, it was great defending in terms of putting pressure on him to, I guess, hit the shot wide, but a great opportunity. It's just been a dominant game here for Tom, and I feel like if he does go on to win this, there's a potential contract waiting for him.
It sort of feels like he's kept himself under the radar as Tom in the competitions that he has played in the PlayStation tournaments build-up. Maybe just dabble in between competitions. Never really thought that taking it to the next level was something that you wanted to do personally. He's a player that has been grinding away in so many of the tournaments and been winning loads of them as well. He was a winner in the most recent Open Series tournaments. And there we go. That is the half-time whistle. He's 45 minutes away from crowning himself as a champion. And at the moment, everything he's done has been perfect. He's dominated possession, Lisa. He's created more chances. He's just looked after the ball, and he's really, really controlled the game.
Yeah, exactly. You can see here from the statistics, Dennis has only had one shot, and he's got a 0.2 expected goals in this game. So for me, obviously, Tom is showing why he's so good. You know, he's dominating the game. He's had 2 goals already, in my opinion. Potentially could have been at least a couple of more. Obviously, that Mbappe opportunity that he did get. However, it was great defending in terms of putting him off with Maldini that he did there.
Yeah, well, let's see what is happening on the flip side here. It's a 4-1-2-1-2. Is it impressed you, that formation today? Because it's really delivered the formation. The way he's played it as well, he's always had 2 left-backs involved. There's been Marcelo and João Cancelo. What it allows him to do is in-game bring in fresh legs and then have a left-back as a backup. But what he's also been doing is been playing one of them in the midfield, sort of left-hand side, or as one of the CDMs in the team. And it's really worked out well for him, hasn't it?
Yeah, obviously Marcelo is a card that has obviously recently came out, and he's a card that is really helpful in the midfield. Obviously, he's able to win the ball. He's got 92 stamina, 91 aggression, so he's able to just fight off the opponents. And, you know, he's got good reactions, good composure, 99 reactions, 99 composure. So if you can get him in and around the box, and you could potentially have a shot of him. Obviously, he's not the greatest shooting stats, but he's a great card, great agile player to have in the midfield to help you set a few players on for a goal. So I feel like he's a great player to use. Obviously, Cancelo is preferred at left back, but Marcelo is definitely a great asset to the midfield.
Back on the way we are. Tom gets one more goal. I think he will be on his way. Towards glory here in the eChampions League Fan Cup. He will be crowned the best player out of the 7,000 that originally clicked sign up. And that number went down to just over 2,500 of names that did check in and compete in the competition regardless of that. He played the most packed bracket. There was over 1,000 people with just his bracket in qualifier number 4. It only took place just a few weeks ago. Went 8-0 in that, Did not drop a game in the Swiss. Won his first 2 games, 8-0 and 7-2. It's been a really impressive cup run from him. Building for that third and final goal, the icing on the cake with the cherry on top. Is that it? Is that the goal to seal the deal? Kylian Mbappe, trademark celebration to celebrate a perfect performance across the last few months. He'll be on his way to Sweden with the biggest of smiles on his faces. €2,500 in his back pocket, a PlayStation 5, and probably one of his most enjoyable tournaments he would have ever played in here by the PlayStation Competition Centre.
We mentioned the MVPs of his team and the 2 GOATs coming together, Mbappe and Ronaldo. And what a finish it was, obviously putting it across the box. He wasn't going to miss from there, but I mean, we got to also mention Dembele has been class of him, you know, down the wing, wherever he plays up front, wherever he puts him in the team, he's been dribbling and just causing havoc for his opponents, and we see that in these games that he's played over these last couple of games, and it's just a credit to him really of how well he's played going forward and also defensively, making sure that his opponents don't score any more goals. And you can see that here, dominant performance, obviously, with Dennis only having a 0.2 goals expectancy, and he hasn't even really had a chance this half as well.
His time running out. Certainly isn't on his side. Got to go for the game. 3 at the back, throw everybody forward. What has he got to lose? Nothing. Messi. Can't find Cantona alarm. Pick it up kindly, Cantona. I mean, the biggest thing you have to do is keep R9 quiet, and that's what's happened in this game, Lisa. You keep him quiet, the rest comes alongside.
Yeah, obviously we mentioned the star men for these players, and we mentioned R9 being the big man for Dennis, and obviously if you're not getting balls, if you're not allowing balls into the R9, he's not going to be scoring goals, and Tom's done that superbly in this last couple of rounds against him because he hasn't been able to score too many, or none at all, especially in this game.
Minutes, time's not on his side. And it will be the biggest of congratulations too. Tom, the only UK player that made it into the top 8. One of 2 players that made it into the top 16. An unbeaten run to remember. Via a very difficult bracket.
It's very interesting that we're actually not seeing a pause here via Dennis, because he's obviously a few goals down. We mentioned before, obviously he's got nothing to lose, just send players forward, and a great finesse there by Messi, but not to be. But it's interesting that you haven't actually seen a pause for him to go constant pressure or change formation.
Just here as well that it was ACX that won the 3rd place game. He will also be in Sweden. Commiserations too. 4th place player there, Dembele. Forward, timed it great. All I'll say is Mbappe, CR7, Ousmane Dembele. That is your recipe to success, a recipe towards a championship. Not any variant of their in-game though. Foot fantasy, team of the year, foot birthday. A concoction that only FIFA players can dream of using or even borrowing for a game. They have been his key to success. And he's a minute away from crowning himself as the 2022 eChampions League Fan Cup winner. One more goal? No, there won't be time for it. There you have it. 1 from 7,000 sign-ups. A winner from the United Kingdom. Tom Zoa, congratulations, my friend. €2,500 in your back pocket, a PlayStation 5 and a hospitality package that you will not be forgetting in a hurry. Deserved, incredible scenes from him. And he said it was going to be tough. I mean, it was tough, but he made that second leg look a little bit easy, didn't he?
Yeah, I feel like he had the better chances in the game as well. Dennis didn't even have too many shots. He had a 0.2 expectancy, and this is the first goal that we score. Obviously, look, we see him move his keeper slightly to the right, and he put it into the bottom left-hand corner. And this is the cross that we saw into CR7. When he's in and around them positions, he's going to get his head on it, and he did there. And another opportunity here that we saw, great whip into Mbappe, and slots it into the back of the net. And this was the final one that we saw from Dembele. We mentioned the 3 players that were key for him, and we saw that green time shot.
And this is the bracket run that he has had. He kicked off the day with an impressive 8-0 and 7-2 win. It got a little bit more difficult in the semi-finals. He lost in a semi-final first game to Carabura Torre 76. Then he pulled it back with the last 2 games in Game 2 and Game 3. But in the final, he didn't need a third game. He didn't need to fall back on that. And he stopped R9 in his tracks. The danger man for Dennis the Menace. Commiserations to the Dutch FIFA player. He will also be in the eChampions League final in Sweden. They'll get to meet, they'll get to shake hands alongside ACX, who won his 3rd place game. If you've enjoyed what you've seen today here from the FIFA side of things, well, guess what? There's plenty of fighting games that take place on the PlayStation's competition centre and broadcasts that do come live here on YouTube and Twitch. Mortal Kombat Fight Nights returns on May 13th, and then 7 days later, if you enjoyed your taste of Fight Nights, it's back again with a different game of Tekken 7. Plenty of tournaments taking place here on the competition centre. FIFA, fighting games, and much, much more. If you want to get involved in what you've seen today, then get involved in the link down below us right now. Compete.playstation.com. There is so many tournaments, and I mean, after what you've seen today, Lisa, the quality's there, but also the prizes are there. Some incredible prizes on the line.
Yeah, some incredible prizes on the line, and obviously he also won a PlayStation 5, so I'm sure he'll be happy with that, as they're really hard to get. But, I mean, what a performance from Tom. Obviously, commiserations to Carabura Torre, I felt was probably Tom's hardest opponent, obviously not getting that 3rd place spot, but obviously he's only 16 years of age. Maybe the pressure to get to him, obviously trying to get that last spot, but yeah, Tom's been amazing in his tournament, scoring so many goals, defending so well. Congratulations to him.
Yeah, and final thoughts from you, Lisa. Pleasure sharing the mic and the commentary box with you this evening. I've only got one question for you. Usman Dembele, is he going to be in your team when you get 4 million coins in your Ultimate Team account?
I feel like he needs to be. You know, to be honest with you, he actually comes on as a sub on my RTG account. He's actually 83 rated gold card, and he's so good. So if I can get to 4 million coins, he'll definitely be in the team. But I mean, what a great player he looked like. You know, it's dribbling. He was so good. Pace. He's shooting. Green timing it with him, and it's flying in the back of the net. So I feel like if I get the coins, he'll definitely be in.
And just a quick one as well. Tom won tonight. He was our champion. What was the key to success for him? Because he was such a talented FIFA player overall, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was. I think for me, it was these player locks. You know, being able to put players into better positions. They're so hard to defend against him. We saw that with how many goals he actually scored with Ronaldo, player locking him into a better position. And also, obviously, he's Dembele and he's Mbappe. Defensively, he was so good. His player switching was outstanding, able to put 3 players on top of his opponents every time they get the ball. It's hard to break down, and he did so well doing that.
And he's a deserved winner in the end, as we said. Over 2,700 people actively played in the eChampions League Fan Cup. No doubt this has been one of the biggest FIFA 22 activations on the competition centre. A massive thank you to EA Sports FIFA, to PlayStation, the Champions League, and to our brilliant team working behind the scenes, making all of this come together from all around the world. I've been Brandon Smith. She's been Lisa Manley. Lisa, thank you so much for making this as easy and as enjoyable as ever. I'm sure I'll see you next weekend at the Team of the Season Cup. We'll be commentating on that one. But from us, it's good night here. Thank you so much for watching. Congratulations and GGs to all our players. We'll see them in Sweden next month. And for now, it's good night. Bye-bye.